Buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Looking for the perfect holiday gift? Discover Omega at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh's Village District. Whether it's the Speedmaster, Seamaster, or DeVille, these exquisite Swiss watches capture the joy of every moment. Celebrate time well spent. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry, where Raleigh shops for Omega.
In World War I, American fighter pilots covering a plane's rear position coined the phrase, "I've got your six," to mean "I've got your back." Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org using the number 6.
Hi, I'm Kylie.
I'm John.
And I'm Garrison.
And a little thing we love about the 30-count Chick-fil-A nuggets
is sharing it in the car during the holidays.
I do love that.
We will pack the car with gifts. And of course, we go and pick up our family's favorite nuggets.
Every nugget is tasty times quadrillion.
And we get all the sides.
Yeah, the ooey gooey mac and cheese is a big hit.
Everyone from 1 to 116 would love Chick-fil-A's chicken nuggets.
Share the nuggets, share the joy. Order the 30-count Chick-fil-A nuggets on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It's a pretty afternoon out there. We're seeing partly cloudy skies with highs in the mid-60s, increasing clouds late this afternoon into the evening, and some rain that begins around midnight tonight and lasts until early tomorrow morning. Overnight lows near 50, so nowhere close to freezing. And tomorrow will be nice and warm, too, increasing sunshine with a high of 73.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 261 points to 46,329.
It's effective to shoot, score! Carolina gets the shot through, and the captain.
Williams has it, throws it ahead. Holloman, left lane, rises, swirls the ball, and scores a finger roll.
Hall with Jankowski in front, he scores! Mark Jankowski
centers it to Lubin, drop step, lefty layup, missed it, taps it up and in on the cleanup left side.
And Hall's going to take this away from Zadorov. Hall in on Swayman. Hall waits, and he scores!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Carolina Hurricanes win last night. NC State basketball wins last night. Duke and UNC basketball play tonight. And yes, Panther fans are still basking in the glow of a franchise record in passing yards from their quarterback, Bryce Young. Yesterday felt, thanks to all the college football teams in the area, a little down, a little melancholy, a little somber. Today's not that. We're optimistic on a Tuesday. So, as you all know, I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show, and it's time for the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
Carolina Hurricanes on the road to start a 4-game roadie. 3-1 victory over the Boston Bruins. If I were somebody that believed you could tweak the box score with context of like, oh, well, that really shouldn't have, I might give credit for Pyotr Kochetkov in the shutout. He earned it. He played well. But I know how that would look because I am an on-the-record Pyotr Kochetkov fan. So if I just start going, well, that goal doesn't count because it came at the end on some weird power plays, then it would be right for some of you to assume I was being a little bit of a homer. So I won't do that and instead say it was a solid one-goal allowed performance by Pyotr Kochetkov. And it was a bit of a depth game for the Carolina Hurricanes, which is something I'm going to focus on when it comes to that game. It was even though it's not exactly, it felt like a bullpen game, right? You got through it, and you didn't have to use some of your stars. You didn't have to use your starters, even though they were out there, right? You get three kind of unusual goal scorers. You have a really, really good game from Nystrom, the rookie, there on the blue line. If you look at some of the advanced analytics, how they played when he was on the ice, he was great. Guy hasn't played that much hockey, even like AHL level in North America. And all of that adds up to maybe a little confidence-boosting game for Pyotr Kochetkov. Here's Pyotr on how the team in front of him, meaning the skaters, made his day easy.
Every game, it's guys, defense, and forwards very help. There's no surprise for nobody. You know, we have system, and guys always do well. You know, it's for me very. I'm very excited to play for guys because the guys very help me every night.
Shout out to Pyotr Kochetkov. I'm going to revisit a conversation we had yesterday. If you didn't listen, I'll give you the cliff notes. The goalies are like a first world problem, a point of concern, right? You're winning a bunch of games near the top of the standings that you want to be at the top of, and you have three different goalies that at different times have played effective hockey, but you're starting to see more save percentages that start with an 8 than start with a 9 over the last handful of games, and that's going to be a little frustrating for you. So we brought it up yesterday, right? They have this cap space, these assets that they could trade should they trade for a goalie. In the meantime, right? If they're going to do that, they're going to do that. That's you know the what do they call it? The Knights of the Decision-Making Roundtable that the Canes have, right? That they'll make that decision when they do. In the meantime, you don't just want to sit around and wait. You want to do everything you can to get those guys playing well in case that's what you're rolling with. In anticipation of what you're rolling with. And I've told you throughout the season, I'm a bit addicted to the minute and 20-second videos they put of Rod Brindamore after the game in his post-game locker speeches. And this year, like they've done in the past, Rod gives out a shirt that has C5 on it, right? It's a little team theme deal. The player that earned it gets the shirt. It's actually, I think, a hoodie this year, one of those thin hoodies. Sweet piece of merch. If you're in that world. He gave it to Pyotr Kochetkov. Now, there were other options, right? Taylor Hall had a sweet goal. Jankowski scored. That's big. I brought up Nystrom. Like, there were guys that you could have went to, but going to Pyotr, I think they're aware of how much those goalies hinge, particularly Pyotr, on confidence. I think if he could have played a little bit worse, he still would have got that. Like, it's all about feeding him. A little fake it till you make it, right? Have him play well. Make him think he played great. Hopefully he plays great next time. I'm going to be tracking the goalies because it's it's one of the few places where you're looking at it going, I wonder what that looks like 3 months from now. That's number one. Let's get to number two.
Number two.
NC State basketball got the dub, got the win over VCU. Now, I know that there are some arguments online. That never happens. People online, they're usually measured and like to agree to disagree. There's some arguments about what this game means, right? If your closet has a lot of blues, regardless of the shade, and you're a basketball fan in the area, you're saying 85-79 against VC, a group of 5 team? You won by 2 possessions at home? If you tend to choose your clothes out of a color palette that contains quite a bit of red and black, you're saying VCU is going to be one of the top group of 5 teams in the country. They're going to make a run in the postseason. They're going to win their conference. They have so many good players. This is a well-earned, experience-gaining win for a team coming together, and you got the win while learning some lessons. We don't know what the answer is going to be there, right? So that's an argument that I'm going to come down right on the fence. You have to see how good VCU is. If they win their division and they're a 6 seed or a 5 seed or whatever high the winner of that conference would go, then yeah, that is a really good experience-gaining quad 1 or quad 2 win for NC State. But I've seen quite a few group of 5 teams come in with hype, finish 7th in their conference and miss the tourney, in which case, yeah, maybe you do want to watch that one back and go, how the heck did we let them hang around? Either way, you got the win. Your net ranking isn't going to suffer, none of that kind of stuff, because VCU actually has a good net ranking right now, and you move forward. Will Wade, after the game, head coach of State, obviously, talking about playing a team like VCU that could potentially boost their resume.
I mean, it's a quad 2 game for us at home. It'll be a quad 1 game, and we return the game up there next year. I mean, it makes sense to me. 2 hours away. I don't know why we wouldn't do it. Look, I mean, you want to test yourself. You want to play. Good teams. I mean, I think everybody acts like, VCU is not some charity program. Like, this is a real program. They win, 20-plus games every year, 22, 25 games every year. So, I mean, they're 2 hours up the road. It's a good home and home. It's a quad 2 game at home. It's a quad 1 game up there. I mean, I don't know why you would. I don't know why we wouldn't. I don't know why we wouldn't schedule them. I mean, they're as good as many teams in our league. So I think it makes sense when you've got to build a resume to play good teams. I mean, the games are going to be tough.
It's builds into the Will Wade way of thinking. There's a lot of Power 5 conference teams that don't want to play potentially good group of 5 teams. Whether they turn out to be good or not, if it's a program that cares about basketball, spends on basketball, has had success in basketball, there's a lot of Power Conference teams going, why would we risk it? Let's go get a group of 5 team that stinks, that doesn't care, that isn't all the way invested. We'll beat them, we'll move on. Because if we lose to a group of 5 team, we lost to a group of 5 team. If we beat a team like VCU by only 6, our haters, our downgraders are going to go out there and say, you beat a group of 5 team by only 6. We'll have to wait and see how good it is, but there were some individual performances in that one that are pretty darn good. Darrion Williams, pretty darn good. Matt Abel, their 5-star freshman off the bench, pretty darn good. Trey Holloman, pretty darn good. Paul McNeil didn't score at all. So there's still things to learn. That's number 2. Let's hit number 3.
Number 3.
Duke playing at their home away from home tonight. Kansas is the opponent. Madison Square Garden is the location. Darren Peterson's not going to play in this one. He is the all-world top freshman for Kansas. Right? With all the hype we talk about freshmen, Cam Boozer for Duke, Caleb Wilson for UNC, even DeBonsa for BYU, Darren Peterson of Kansas is actually the one I see most often mocked number 1 overall in the NBA draft. 6'4", 6'5", guard. He's not playing due to injury. This is not a knock on Duke. I want to be clear on that. That's, to me, what I think the story of the Duke season has been so far. They are asking for chances to prove how good they are, and for whatever reason, usually not in their control, it just doesn't amount to much. Right? Like you scheduled Kansas in Madison Square Garden. Kansas has already lost to UNC, and now you're playing them without their most talented player. A little bit of like a great trailer, maybe not a great movie. You know what I mean? Like a great hype, and it's like, all right, now we just have to go beat a team that's already lost to somebody in our conference. That's by the way, it's not like it was a buzzer beater. Like UNC looked like the better team. And they don't have their best player, who Cameron Boozer would probably like to make a statement against. Right? Go out there, look like the best player on the floor. That's not to say Kansas is some kind of walkover. I'm not saying that. But I am saying the air has been let out of the balloon a little bit. You win I can tell you what the Kansas fans are going to say. Didn't have Peterson. You lose, it's going to be, oh my gosh, and they didn't have Peterson, right? The part of it's not a straight up deal. I think Duke is very, very good. Based on what the bar is for Duke under John Shire even, I don't know. I don't know if they're a Final Four team. I don't know. I know that they're the tournament team. I know that they're probably a top seed. I know that they're the overwhelming favorite in the ACC. I don't know if they are above or below what they've put on the court the last, obviously last year. And I don't know if we're going to find out tonight against Kansas because even though they tried to schedule this premier gigantic matchup, it just didn't mount to anything. I grew up at the beach. It's like the wave that looks big way out there, and you start getting in position. You get, I don't know, your boogie board or surfboard or bodyboard or whatever you're doing. You start working your way into position. You're like, oh, here it comes, and then it just a little tiny wave. By the time it reaches you, it's like, oh wow, misjudged that one. Right, a month ago, Kansas, Darrion Peterson, they're ranked in Madison Square Garden. Big wave coming. By the time it gets to you, it's like, I'll still ride it. Don't get me wrong. Probably not going to have the most fun I've ever had catching this wave. That's for fans, by the way. Duke, every team, play them, coach speak. Nameless, faceless opponent. Doesn't matter who's playing, who's hurt. You got to go out and give them your best. There you go. Pre-game speech. Done. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Canes beat the Bruins to start a 4-game road trip, 3-1. Depth game. We dive in more to what it means when your fourth line can do that, when Jankowski can score. Stick around.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent Trane dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Hey, everybody. Paul Weihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. FanDuel is the #1 sports book for same-game parlays. From points to rebounds to threes and assists, FanDuel is the best place to combine your favorite picks into a same-game parlay or track every stat live all in one easy-to-use app. Right now, it's the perfect time to join. New customers get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Bet on the players you love the way you want. Head on over to FanDuel.com/Paul and sign up today. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
In on Swayman. Hall waits and he scores! Taylor Hall with the beauty.
I just tried to get it to the middle of the ice and see what was there. I've been working on that push move a little bit, and it was a good move. I was kind of flying through the air as I scored, so it was fun.
Oh, professional athletes describing just the most ridiculous body control athletic feats, and it's just, yeah, I don't know, it's something I've been working on, just, flying through the air, scoring goals, NHL. Ho-hum. Last night was a cool game for the Canes. I don't think it's one that you want every game, right? I don't think that's the new strategy. But every once in a while, it's cool to have a game where you get unusual scores, you get big performances from guys that you normally depend on to just be solid role players, and you feel like you stole one from the outside from the inside, everybody's juiced because, right, this is going to sound crazy, but Jarvis scores a lot of goals. You know what I mean? You celebrate in the game, don't get me wrong. You love that you win, but by the time you're on the plane going to the next city, it's not like, hey, Jarvie, number 22 or whatever it is on the year, right? But somebody like Jankowski scores, it is like, hey, Janky the goal scorer, right? It ups everyone's energy. Jordan Stahl, when he scores, like I can even tell you, it's funny, right? Because hockey fans, they're different than other fans, right? Hockey fans are different than other sports fans in that I think they're more immersed in the world. Like, let me trying to think of this. Okay, I'll use this as an example. There was a guy, Ronald Talley, played at the University of Delaware prior to me playing there, and he went to play with the Packers, right? And this was early Aaron Rodgers, okay? Aaron Rodgers had just taken over for, not just taken over, but it was like 3 or 4 years taken over for Brett Favre. And Talley came and spoke to a youth camp that we were doing at Delaware. And, of course, one of the kids raises their hands, right? He's like, anything you guys want to know about playing in the NFL? Raises his hand. What's Aaron Rodgers like? Fair. All right, let's go ahead and answer the question. And he told him, nice guy, blah, 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 told me this. And then he goes, if you ever see him out there, if you walk around, call him A-Rod. He's like, we all call him A-Rod. Nobody calls him Aaron. Nobody calls him Aaron Rodgers. He'll turn his head if he hears you say A-Rod to the kids, and they thought it was cool. Little inside baseball thing. Hockey fans call everybody on the team by their nickname. They don't need to be told. They're not calling them first and last name like we do for so many other sports. So yesterday, Jordan Stahl scores the opening goal, right? And I don't know if anybody else had this realization. He scored, and I went, geez, it feels like Jordan Stahl's scoring a lot more than he usually does. Seems like he's scoring a lot more earlier in this season than he usually does. So I went and did the math. With that goal yesterday, he's now on pace for a little over 21.5 goals. It's like 21.57 or something goals. He's never scored more than 20 since he's been a Carolina Hurricane. Right? He had like a 24 something, 25 maybe with that other team prior to getting here. But as a Cane, his high water mark is 20 goals, excuse me. So I'm like, wow, he's on pace to score more goals than he's scored. I'm right? He's scoring more than he's, especially in recent years, more than he's been scoring. So I tweeted that out there, right? It's fun. I thought it was a fun fact. Let me see if everybody else does. And their responses were all like, Pop still got it. Unk can still find the back of the goal, right? Old man still got it. And I'm like, yeah, all right, you figured it out. But that's hockey, right? I think that's what the young guys are doing, right? When he gets on the bus, hey, look at this, old man still knows how to find, look at that little one-handed thing you pulled there. It does boost your energy a little bit. You mix in somebody like Nystrom having such a good game on the blue line, and suddenly you got a win out of I don't want to say mundane, but a mundane 3-1 win on the road at Boston. I wouldn't call it the most electric win in the history of the world, but because of it's not Aho, Jarvis, and Ehlers scoring and Svetch, it's Jankowski, Stahl, and Hall with a highlight. Another guy who just celebrated his 34th birthday. So there's that going on. And it's a win that can boost something, right? At the beginning of a road trip, you get a little bit of energy. Rod Brindamore talked about getting that continued production from the fourth line.
Well, they've been good all year, that line especially. And then, since Jank's come back in, he's provided a little pop there. And Robbie, you got to talk about him too. Like that's a very valuable group going right now for us, and it's a good matchup. So I mean, that's a world-class goal. I mean, that's MVP goal kind of thing that he pulled out there, and it was I know it was 2-0 that time, but it kind of put the game away, which was great.
People should, and I need to do it more. I mean, Taylor Hall, he is an MVP, right? That's like being president or like you keep you call him Mr. President forever, right? It's a title that stays with you. He is an MVP, and yeah, he's skates on their fourth line. That's what I'm talking about, right? Jankowski is a big dude. Obviously, he doesn't have the resume that Taylor Hall has, but he can score. We saw it last year. right? When he showed up and had, what was it, 17 goals in the first 20 minutes? He was on
Mark Jane Gretzky.
There you go. Like, those are little things that throughout a season just give you a little bit of boost, give you a little extra giddy up. Taylor Hall, that veteran who sometimes skates alongside Jankowski on the fourth line, was with Hannah Yates talking about the strong play of Janky.
You see on the goal, he's in front of the net alone. He's not tied up. He's always in a really good spot. And then, in our defensive zone too, he allows Robbie and I to kind of take off and use our speed to create chances. We didn't get a whole lot tonight, but we were really close on a lot of instances. So Janks is such an effective player and a fun player to play with.
The thing about games like that, and I promise, we can go in and talk about, the other guys, and we will. But the thing about games like that is, all year, one of the strengths, particularly of the forwards, because the blue line has dealt with their own issues. But when it comes to the forwards, one of the things I talk about as a strength is it feels like no matter who's out there on the ice, they're all a threat, right? If they, whoever it is, stall line, fourth line, top line. I'm very much a fan of the Stankoven line, that second line. Whoever it is, if they get a shooting opportunity, I'm like, that guy can do it. There's nobody out there that they're hiding from a scoring perspective or from a playmaking perspective. Occasionally, you need to have a game where the fourth line scores a bunch, or else we have to stop saying that all four lines can be the leaders in a scoring situation. Right? We can't say all four lines can be productive and then never have a game where the fourth line gets a couple points, gets a couple goals, and wins the game for you. So that Boston game bought us another few weeks of saying, anybody in that forward group can be the difference, which is very Canes-like, right? Everybody playing the entire ice. It's not about who gets the shot. It's about who gets the best shot, or whatever the sayings are. And it allows you to because what did I say? And if you don't remember, I'll remind you. Pop quiz. What have I said everything in the last 2 weeks? I need everybody to take out your notebooks. No, I'm kidding. Don't expect that. But going into this past weekend, where you had the back-to-back against Vancouver and then obviously Edmonton, I asked for a star performance. Right? You had some legit superstars coming into your arena for a back-to-back. I said, who's going to match them? And I think there were some good star performances, right? Svetch scores the two. The obviously Aho in overtime. Like, there were some legit star performances. I felt satisfied. But you can't just look at your stars and go, I need a star performance every night. You want to be able to, pull that tool out of the tool bag when necessary and put it away when you need to put it away. I thought it was a very good win. I thought it was a win that shows the depth, and it's good to have those every once in a while. Now, not every game, right? The rest of this road trip, if the Stars want to go score a bunch of points, I'll allow it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, talking about stars. Gordon Miller and Miller Lending, full of stars. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly for Miller Lending. And not only are they stars, right, just like the hometown team, they're the hometown lenders. They are owned locally. Right here in Cary, you call, you're talking to somebody in the triangle, which means they understand the markets you're dealing with. They understand selling, buying. They understand what you want in a rate. And that's important because you hope that this isn't a one-time relationship when you get your mortgage from Miller Lending. Because with something they call a no-cost loan, and they weren't creative when they named it, no cost means no closing costs, no fees, no surcharges of any kind at closing. With a no-cost loan, you hope you're talking to Miller a whole bunch. Get your mortgage now. If rates drop, call them up, refinance, no money out of your pocket. No cost, no fees, nothing. You do that, and then guess what? You're immediately hoping that rates fall again so you can do it again and again and again and again, and they're right here in your community, so it's easy. Give them a call. Let them explain to you what a no-closing cost loan is and how you can use it to your advantage to be as flexible and adaptable as possible in an ever-changing and volatile mortgage market and interest market. The number, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. Take a break. When we come back, It's time for 2 Minutes of Gold, Adam Gold's insight into last night's win, and the Dean's List. Stick around.
Think Santa's got a mixed bag of treats? Soundstation and Security may have him beat. Soundstation and Security has a huge variety of gift ideas for everything audio and automotive. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels, and tires. We even offer full vehicle service, alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. These are great, unique gift ideas. Plus, Soundstation and Security has a variety of financing options. Downtown Smithfield or on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. And online at myhotsound.com.
Lights are going up, snow is falling down. There's a feeling of goodwill around town. It could only mean one thing. McRib is here.
The McRib season gets even more magical when you pair it with any size Dr. Pepper for just $1.49. At participating McDonald's for a limited time. Price and participation may vary.
McRib is here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Oh, hey, welcome to gift wrapping. Whoa, Zoe Saldana.
Hey, can you wrap these, please?
Wow, iPhone 17s. You splurged.
At T-Mobile, you can get 4 iPhone 17s on them. The new center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. It's the perfect gift for everyone.
I'm the worst. I only got my mom a robe.
Well, it's better than socks.
So, I have to trade in my old phone, right?
No, at T-Mobile, there's no trade-ins needed when you switch. Keep your old phone or give it as a gift.
Incredible.
In fact, wrap up my old phone too. For my Aunt Rosa. Forget that. Aunt Liz will be jealous.
Sounds like my family. Drama.
Oh, I got it. I'll give it to my abuela. I'll take reindeer paper with, hey, where are you going?
To T-Mobile! The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Get 4 iPhone 17s on us. No trade-in needed when you switch. Plus 4 lines for just $25 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 4 eligible port-ins on essentials for well-qualified customers. Auto pay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end in balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 256 gigabytes, $830 required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Williams at the left wing. Spins off of Ward to the basket. Finds himself open. He boxes Ward out with the ball and banks it in.
Yo, Darrion Williams that time used his body and used his strength and got right to the basket and was right there for a layup off the spin.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. There you go. Everybody get into it. Trying to bring the energy on a Tuesday. Trying to get everybody rolling. But for now, I'm going to turn that responsibility over to Adam Gold in something we call 2 Minutes of Gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 players with 2 points each as the Canes claim 2 points, winning by 2 in Boston. Deuces wild, ladies and gentlemen, and it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers, parkwaysleep.com. All right, here are the 2 players. Taylor Hall, who won an MVP in 2018 for the New Jersey Devils. He ain't playing for the Devils now. He's on Carolina's 4th line. That's how good the Hurricanes are. And Joel Nystrom. What are we talking about? A 3-1 win in Boston led by Taylor Hall and Joel Nystrom? Are you out of your mind? Yeah, a little bit. Nystrom was great. Played just over 20 minutes, second most among Carolina defensemen behind Keandre Miller. He had 2 assists, his first ever 2-point game in the NHL, and he factored in on 2 of the biggest goals of the night. The first one scored by Jordan Stahl.
Nystrom with traffic. It's a flick to the shoot, score! Carolina gets the shot through, and the captain with the net front again. Jordan Stahl's 5th of the year has Carolina up 1-0.
Getting a quick shot through allowed the big man to do his thing, and then getting the puck up to Taylor Hall for the goal that put this one away.
Hall in on Swayman. Hall waits, and he scores! Taylor Hall with the beauty, and Carolina with insurance late. Against his old team, Taylor Hall makes it 3-0.
No lie, that Taylor Hall scoring play was silly. He should get the primary assist for passing the puck to himself, because that's really what happened. What an elite move by Hall, who is a legitimately great part of one of the deepest teams in the entire league. Carolina's 4th line is better than most teams' 3rd lines. That's how good this team can be, especially if the top line continues to play well. Pyotr Kochetkov also, by the way, 29 saves, a solid effort in net, and that's all they need from number 52. Look, there's that number 2 again. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health, sound off for another great young defenseman in Joel Nystrom.
That is 2 minutes of gold here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. And speaking of the defenseman, Mike Maniscalco, voice of the Canes, friend of the show, did tweet out that Jalen Chatfield has joined the Canes in Minnesota and practiced today.
Nice.
And he even posted visual proof of Jalen Chatfield in a practice uniform skating.
It's a great sign.
It is. He is, and now I've said this a bunch, the way he plays lends it to this situation, but he is a take-it-for-granted player. Like, when he's out there, you don't realize all the things he's doing, and then when he's not out there, it's like, wow, this is not as smooth as it usually is. It's one of those you don't know what you got till it's gone type players, and I think the Canes saw that in the postseason last year, so they are well aware of what Jalen Chatfield brings to the table, and it is a very good sight for sore eyes to see him out on the ice practicing in Minnesota today. Obviously, game not till tomorrow, and we'll have to wait for more. But good news coming from Mike out there. Appreciate it. Now let's jump into the Dean's List. Dean's List, where we highlight those in the sports world, college sports world, that deserve a little extra praise. Dennis, we're going to start with the most important, and I hope you hear the sarcasm in my voice.
Okay.
The Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Yes.
They have upped the ante.
Oh, okay.
Sixfold.
Okay.
So we are, I assume, because it's kind of all-encompassing around bowl time, we're all aware of the Pop-Tarts Bowl bit, right? They have a edible mascot, and the winning team gets to eat the Pop-Tart mascot. Became a whole thing. I believe NC State was in the first.
They were.
So there was a whole Pop-Tart Bowl hysteria.
Strawberry Pop-Tart sacrificed himself for that first one.
This year, this came from Heather Dinich. We're getting 6 edible mascots at this year's Pop-Tart Bowl.
Are you serious?
6 edible mascots.
Whole pack of Pop-Tarts.
They will be divided up into teams. 3 on Team Sprinkles, 3 on Team Swirls, and fans will get to vote on which mascot team to sacrifice to mouth heaven at game's end. The biggest edible mascot sacrifice ever.
I love it.
I don't know.
I love it.
I don't know.
You lean into the bit. Have fun with it. Make the game attractive.
Do you know what I do think people forget?
What's that?
Right? The biggest edible mascot sacrifice. Like, they've been eating oranges at the Orange Bowl for decades and decades.
Yeah. Is how large are these Pop-Tarts?
I guess it's just not a mascot, technically.
This is a sacrifice, not just fruit that's picked. These are Pop-Tarts.
Beings? You should be careful. What are they? They are sentient pastries. I don't know where they go from here. There's only one place. That's like the bit about the stand-up comedian, 6-minute abs. There's only one thing you can do to up the ante. Got to go 5-minute abs. There's only one way to get. Next year, they're going to be sacrificing like 112 Pop-Tarts. One for each player on the winning roster. All right, let's move on. Let's get
there's an ACC. Obviously, there's an ACC school that's in it every year.
Yes, it's one of the actual, like.
So it could be state again.
One of the higher ACC. I don't know if they're going to be as high in the standings. I think it's like third choice of the ACC.
Really?
So we'll see. It could. I mean, technically, could be one of the teams if they can get bowl eligible and climb up the standings a little bit. Could be one of the teams we cover.
That's hilarious.
6 edible mascots. I think that means 3 are going to be pardoned, right? Because if you vote for which team, that means there's going to just be 3 sentient pastries just in the world until at least next year.
I love this bit. I don't like Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, but
I don't.
If you're on the winning team, you better take a handful.
Yeah, I take a bite, I guess.
All right, let's get some more serious Dean's Listers.
And nothing more serious than that. But go on.
I'm putting Virginia Tech.
Okay.
For hiring James Franklin. It raises the level of the ACC, right? James Franklin, to me, the big fish of the coaching cycle, right? He is the premier name. And by hiring him, you are announcing, some higher level of your standing. It's no different than when you are a team and you sign the highest priced free agent in an offseason. It's like an announcement that you're there. So similar announcement for Virginia Tech and the ACC. And from a fame standpoint, I don't know if any other conference has a big three of coaches to go up against Dabo Swinney, Bill Belichick, and James Franklin. They'll go up against anybody. You can have your Dan Lannings. I think more people recognize Belichick. You can have your Kalen DeBoers, your Kirby Smarts, your Ryan Days. Dabo and James Franklin are right there with them. Do you have a Dean's List you'd like to throw out here, Dennis?
I do.
Let's hear it.
We always talk about our watch list, right?
Oh, did I miss one?
Yeah. We have the Patrick Mannelly Award. The Patrick Mannelly Award in college football is awarded to the nation's best long snapper. North Carolina UNC Tar Heel long snapper Spencer Triplett, now one of 10 semifinalists for the Patrick Mannelly Award, was announced on Monday night. So there you go.
Is this a bit of a backhanded compliment? Do you need to have a whole bunch of punts to be the long snapper of the year?
Good on field goals and extra points.
Okay, true.
So yeah,
true. And as the Alabama kicker showed everybody, snap it high, you're gonna get yelled at. Messed up move by the kicker. Just want everybody to know that, because you know what else never happens? If you haven't seen it, Alabama kicker missed a chip shot. It was a high snap. Holder got it, caught it, got it down. Kicker should have made the kick. I'm a former holder. The operation was sloppy, but good enough. The kicker was on camera, yelling at the long snapper. And do you know why it's messed up? You know, anybody?
What?
It's because they never celebrate the long snapper after a made kick. He could have a perfect snap. The kicker's never jumping up into the arms of the long snapper. So then when it's not a perfect snap, you can't light him up. It has to be accountability on both sides. Great snap, perfect hold. Kicker gets all the love. Slightly off snap, good hold. Kicker lights up the snapper. No. Team sport, buddy. Team sport. More Dean's List. Not Alabama's kicker. Power Conference commissioners. I don't do this one often, but according to Yahoo, in a meeting yesterday right here in the great state of North Carolina, they were in Charlotte, the Power Conference commissioners saw a presentation from the Big Ten on a 24-team playoff format. Sources tell Yahoo Sports. Officially, the officials have agreed to keep further exploring formats beyond 12. SEC officials, as they have said publicly, support a 16-team expansion. Now, I'm putting this on here as a point of emphasis and to put my words into action. I don't think they should expand. I think there are things the conferences could do to make a 12-team situation work. But I do often say there's no bad ideas, and in an ever-changing college sports world, you should talk about everything. You should be at a whiteboard. All right, who's got an idea? And you should talk them all through. So even though it's an idea I don't like, they're on the Dean's List for just entertaining new options. Adapt or die. That's an olive branch right there to Power Conference commissioners. At least you're thinking forward. All right, there's the Dean's List. Let's go ahead and dismiss. We do have the podium coming up next. What men's and men's basketball and football teams over the last week have earned their way onto the podium. We'll figure it out, but first, Dennis has something he'd like you to know.
I do. Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I actually just had another follow-up appointment with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I started this journey back at the end of July, and I'm now have lost over 40 pounds, down 42 pounds. I've lost over 5% of my body fat percentage. I've lost over 15% of my total body weight thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And I know a lot of people, when the new year approaches, they start thinking you know what, I want to get in better shape. I want to do all those kinds of things, lose all that weight. Folks, we're 6 weeks away from the start of the new year. It's 6 weeks from tomorrow is New Year's Eve. I know it's hard to think about. It's that quick. Why wait? Why wait? Go ahead and jump on it now. Go ahead and start losing that weight if you want to before you even get to the new year, before even 2026 approaches. I know in the first 6 weeks or so with Raleigh Weight Loss Center, I lost about 20 pounds. in that stretch of time. Imagine that. You losing 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds by the time the new calendar year actually turns over. Have that jump start on everyone else that's trying to wait for the new year. Go ahead and get started on it now. If you want to get serious about the journey, go ahead and take that first step. It's the most difficult one to take is the first one, but once you do and start seeing results, you're going to want to keep walking in that direction. I promise you. That's why Raleigh Weight Loss Center has a free 15-minute phone consultation. That way you can call and get those questions answered, figure out if it's the right thing for you, and go ahead and get started on that journey. You can visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506. Again, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. If you want to get it done, go ahead and start. Don't wait. I guarantee you, you're going to feel better once you get going, and I can guarantee you, you're going to see results in some way, shape, or form, and you're going to feel better. Again, I'm 42 pounds down, no shots, no injections, no steroids, just your body doing the natural thing. It can work for you, too. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I brought it up once. I'll bring it up again. The Podium is coming up next.
Hey guys, this is Marcy Bailey from Bailey's Fine Jewelry, and we know that you want to get your wife or girlfriend something special this Christmas, but sometimes you just don't know what to get. You wonder, what will she like? What will make her feel special? What will make her say, wow? At Bailey's Fine Jewelry, we have experts that are here to help. We specialize in making you look like a hero. You can even send her in to make a wish list that we keep on file to help make your life just a little bit easier. Bailey's has the largest selection of jewelry in North Carolina, including designers like David Yurman, Lagos, Marco Biccigo, and Apolita, as well as beautifully curated Bailey's collections. And don't fret, because if for some reason she doesn't love your gift, we have a 30-day return policy. Our goal is to be your go-to jeweler for life. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, located in Raleigh's Village District, Cary's Fenton, also in Rocky Mount, Greenville, and Charlotte. Every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with a Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even I added too much water to the pizza dough day?
Yep.
How about getting a call from my daughter to pick her up at the airport because her boyfriend is unreliable day?
Especially that day.
What about finding out that one of my pipes suddenly burst in my basement day?
Progressive has every day covered 24/7 with a Home and Auto Bundle. Also, you have a lot of bad days.
Oh no, that was all the same day.
At least you're covered with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Cam to the corner. Foster thinking about it. Cameron will launch. Bang!
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. So we're in a really interesting spot with the Podium going on. By the way, for those of you that are new, I'll give you the quick breakdown. The Podium, it's a one-week award where we look at, during football season, how the football team played the previous week. We rank the 4 teams in the ACC from the state of North Carolina, gold, silver, bronze, off the podium. During men's basketball season, we use men's basketball. During the overlap, we use both. So we're in that portion of the calendar right now where you have basketball games going on, oftentimes 2 a week, and you have football games going on, which gives us a good amount of data points to put together for each of the teams we are talking about. Again, the ACC teams from the state of North Carolina. The interesting part is right now there's a lot of struggle on the football field and a lot of thriving on the basketball court. So it's kind of setting up us for a really interesting equation where we have to decide what's better, like a dominant victory in basketball with a close loss on the football field, or a tougher opponent on the basketball court, but your football team's getting run over, like whatever it is, it's setting up some interesting conversations. So with that being said, time for the results. Let's get into the podium. We'll start with off the podium. Work our way up: bronze, silver, gold. Off the podium, North Carolina Tar Heels. They lost to Wake on the football field 28-12. They did go 2-0 over the last week on the basketball court, men's basketball, beating Radford 89-74 and NC Central 97-53. Those are good wins. I do think the Radford game, and you can blame the refs if you want, and I wouldn't even hate you if you did, because it was a no-rhythm game with a billion whistles and a billion free throws. You'd probably like to see that be a little bit wider of a spread on the final score, win by 15. So, you're splitting hairs there, but the loss to Wake, obviously not great on the football field. And then I guess if you're splitting hairs, you would have liked to have seen a 20-plus win over Radford off the podium. Bronze, NC State. They also had a very, very poor showing on the football field, got smoked by Miami 41-17. I guess it's better because they're a ranked team, or it's at least it's equal because you got smoked by more, but the team was ranked, so call that a wash. And then they played slightly better competition on the basketball court. VCU being the best team of the ones that we've discussed yet, as far as who they've played against.
Yeah, VCU picked to finish first on the A10.
So I would say very similar resume to UNC, and they win by a nose this week. It's just a one-week award. Silver goes to Duke. Again, Virginia, a ranked opponent, got the win over Duke on the football field. And then just 2 straight blowouts on the basketball court. No close games, no within 20-point games. Again, the opponents probably played into that. But when everybody played well on the basketball court and bad on the football field, it's difficult to differentiate. All 3 of them, right? 2 wins over Group of 5 basketball teams. For the most part, looking like you should look. And then everyone had a loss on the football field. For the most part, severely underwhelming to expectations. Duke got the silver. And that leaves, for the second straight week, the gold medal goes to Wake Forest. They beat UNC on the football field. They did have a loss on the basketball court. So even the one team that did win in football couldn't give us just 2 wins in basketball, but their loss is probably more impressive based on their own expectations than many of the wins we've talked about, because they lost to number 7 in the country, Michigan, in overtime. And part of me wants to stop talking about it right there, because the more you talk about it, the more you'll recognize that they had a really good shot to pull off the upset and win that game. Kind of collapsed down the stretch and then didn't finish the way they wanted to, which is why it ended up an overtime loss. But still, Wake Forest, the team, I believe they were picked to finish 11th in the ACC. To take a team that's ranked, significantly better than that in the country, 7th in the country, all the way down to the wire. It's a loss, no moral victories, but it's not a bad loss. And then they smoked UMass Lowell 109-75. Wake walks into the gold medal, I believe, for the second straight week. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Which, by the way, we talked a little bit about this yesterday and kind of touched on it throughout the season. Wake Forest football, as we move out of the podium here, and because the podium is a 1-week award, so the only thing that matters is their win over UNC for the award. But as we move out of the podium, Wake Forest is 7-3 on the year. They have 7 wins.
I'll tell you, Jake Dicker might win Coach of the Year in the ACC.
Well, he's running up into a brick wall this weekend.
True.
He's welcoming the Delaware Blue Hens into town.
I mean, there's that.
I'm just glad that they don't need it for bowl eligibility. You know what I mean? By the way, Delaware does. But my point is, maybe I should stop saying when Wake Forest is near the top of the podium how surprised I am that Wake Forest is near the top of the podium, because they are easily the winningest team this college football season out of the 4 in the ACC in the state of North Carolina. Multiple wins better than anybody else. And their basketball program, while, I don't anticipate them reaching the heights that the other 3 will reach, they've started off very well against expectations, okay? Because, we'll talk later on in the show about these, absolute workhorses that are leading each of the other 3 teams in men's basketball. Wake Forest doesn't come in with that same cash, right? I assume that, the best players in the country come with an NIL check. They don't come with the same recruiting pedigree or anything like that, yet, they're going toe-to-toe with the number 7 team in the country. So there's something to be said there as well. I've always been a big fan of Steve Forbes. I think he's very matter-of-fact, but I want to take some time here at the end of the podium just to give the Demon Deacons a little bit of love. I'm definitely not buttering them up because I'm going to be at their game on Saturday, repping my Delaware Blue Hen gear. So everybody out there, remember this. When you see somebody tailgating with a couple small children in Delaware gear, don't be mean, because I said nice things about Wake Forest way back on Tuesday. That's going to stop about Thursday, just so everybody knows. And again, just to look forward towards next week and continue to let everybody know how this works. If there's a game tonight, like Duke, Kansas, like UNC hosting Navy, those are both towards next week's podium. So everything from this point forward until we do this again on Tuesday, next Tuesday, counts towards the next week's podium. It's a 1-week award. So, Duke can get a big jump on the competition if they put the hammer down on Kansas. And UNC can hold serve in some way if they really put the hammer down on Navy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, everybody. Actually, I don't even know if this is Don't Forget. I may have forgot to tell you yesterday. Oh, wait, we have Gold Star. Do you have a Gold Star to give away, Dennis?
Yes, I do.
Oh, perfect.
I absolutely have a Gold Star.
Don't want to forget that
Do
at
not
all.
want to forget the Gold Star. The Gold Star, this one's pretty easy. Got to go East Carolina football once again. Once again, getting a Gold Star are the Pirates. Massive win over Memphis on Saturday. Basketball's doing okay, but when you get a big football win like that over Memphis, you're still right there in the mix for the American Championship. They're right there in the mix. They need a little bit of help over the next couple of weeks. But we could potentially see on Friday, December 5th, ECU football playing in the American Championship.
Be pretty
for the
fun.
Chance to possibly go to the CFP. The Pirates are still in that conversation.
How about it? How about that?
So yes, Gold Star, East Carolina.
I'm trying to think. There's James Madison. Navy, I think, is still in the mix. As far as who's going to get that Group of 5 conference champion spot. ECU, maybe right there. North Texas, I think, is still in the mix.
Navy, Tulane, North Texas, and East Carolina are all have one loss in the American.
Okay. So so you're telling me there's a chance?
Yes, there is a chance. So it's interesting because I don't think Navy and North Texas played ECU this year, but I know they played Tulane, and Tulane beat them. So again, they need a little bit of help. Obviously, they got to win their last couple of games, or their final 2 games. But there's still a chance.
Still a chance. I have a chance, a different one, for all of you to win some tickets. We call it transition in the biz. Text keyword WOOD, WOOD, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Roy Wood Jr. at Carolina Theater on November 29th. Comedy, you've seen him on Daily Show, things like that. Keyword WOOD to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Roy Wood Jr. at Carolina Theater on November 29th. For Football at 4, we're going to ask a very simple question about these 6-5 Carolina Panthers. Are they actually playing that well? Stick around.
It's Bo time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
Hey, it's Paul Eihander from 99.9 The Fan. You know, I love Thanksgiving, and there's no better place to take care of that meal than with my friends at the Butcher's Market. My favorite location knows me as soon as I walk in. I head on in there, check out that fresh meat case, then roll to the refrigerator case for some homemade pasta salad and mashed potatoes. Family dinner, Thanksgiving dinner done in one stop. The Butcher's Market, with 5 convenient Triangle locations. Trust them to make your Thanksgiving meal a winner. Do me a favor, check them out at thebutchersmarkets.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Feeling nice and comfortable out there this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, highs in the mid-60s. We will see increasing clouds late today and a chance of rain overnight starting around midnight through early tomorrow morning. It's a mild night with an overnight low near 50 degrees and a warm day tomorrow with a high of 73 with increasing sunshine.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 504 points to 46,085.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. So, the Carolina Panthers are 6-5. They are above 500 through 11 games. Huh? Take that in. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, somebody once told me. Do you know what else they are? They're tied in the win column atop the division through 11 games. They have 6 wins. So do the Bucks. Bucks have played less games, but let's not get bogged down in the details, right? Just be excited about that. At the beginning of the year, one of the things I emphasized, one of the things I said was important for the Carolina Panthers, beyond, you want to improve, you want to play well, all the boring coach stuff that you could say is true for every team, was they needed to be playing meaningful football towards the end of the season. Right? Whether they made the playoffs or not, whether they were really in the mix or not, they had 3 division games after the bye, right? Their bye is in week 14, 3 division games after that. I wanted those games to matter because whether they make the playoffs or not, experience playing in games that have all of the stakes is worth its weight in gold. And it appears as if that's going to happen, right? It appears as if they at least won't be mathematically eliminated with 2 games against the Bucks after the bye. Right, you got to take care of business maybe against the Saints and things like that, but that's good. That's good. Okay? And I want to separate results from process. The results through 11 games are good, and that will set them up to improve and learn and experience down the stretch. Here's Dave Canales on just that, playing in those high-leverage games.
Honestly, we just take it one game at a time, and my job is to really just sell the championship moments that we have, the championship opportunity. You know, talking about this week, playing on Monday Night Football against the Niners, a team that I really respect. It's a great opportunity for us. There's going to be a couple more cameras out there. It's going to be under the lights. This will be a great environment for our guys and easy for me to sell just what these games feel like. It'll feel like a playoff environment, certainly against a playoff caliber type of team. These are the opportunities that we need.
Monday night this week. That's what he's talking about with the lights. We don't have to fool ourselves. Remember years past, they'd play like a Germany game, and we'd be like, that's a primetime game, right? It's the only one on. There's no other games going on. It's at 9:30 in the morning. East Coast. All right. No, this is a Monday night football game against another team with high expectations in the San Francisco 49ers, and you're above 500. This is a good experience. Let's see what you've learned from being above 500 at home playing against the Bills. Let's see what you've learned from going into that Saints game with all the momentum and laying in a goose egg. Let's see. That's all good. Now, to separate results from process, are they actually playing that well? Right? You're going to get the benefit of playing games that matter. You're going to get those lessons, right? Tetero McMillan, Nick Scorton, these guys get to go play in a Monday night football game that matters. You're getting that. Are you actually playing well enough to expect that? And it starts with DVOA. DVOA is kind of one of the like grandfathers of, or grandmothers, the ancestors would be the way to say it. One of the forefathers of football analytics. Okay, because now, I don't know about you, I can't go on social media without seeing like a scatter plot of, you know, the EPA per drop back against the blitz on one axis, and on the other axis, it's you know, WAR above adjusted run game contributions from the offensive line, and it's just what does this graph show me? And then there's always like Drake May all the way at the top right, and they're just like, look at the season he's having, and I'm like, I don't know what any of this means. That acronym has 17 letters in it, and you think I should know what stat that's representing? But none of that exists without DVOA. Okay, DVOA, defense adjusted something or another. It's one of the original. This is how well your team is actually playing stats. It's supposed to be all-encompassing. It's supposed to basically just line up play after play after play and see how often you're being successful and how successful overall each play is. If you look at it like that, the Panthers are the second worst 6-5 team ever since they've started using DVOA, which does go back into at least the 80s. So of the teams that are 6-5, right? I'm not saying they're as bad as like a 2-9 team, but of teams that were 6-5, they are the second worst when you just isolate plays for how successful they're being. The only team worse, the 2016 Texans. Somehow they were 6-5. So, again, I'm not going to swear by DVOA. I think football is much more difficult to apply equations to and analytic just sort out than, say, baseball is or some other sports. But it does raise the question of, are they 6-5 worthy, or are they 6-5 fortunate? Right? Are they playing in a Monday night game that matters, and are they going to get the benefits of that because they've been playing really well as a football team, or because their good plays have just happened to fall at like important parts of the game, well-placed good plays, and the opponent's not playing great, and whatever. I think it's more the latter. Now, that's not to say, like, you know, if you throw for 448 yards, you're probably going to win. I bet you if you look in history, if you throw for 448 yards and your quarterback has no turnovers, I bet you your percentage of winning is pretty high. And the Rico Dowdle games, right? The 200-yard total total yards games from Rico Dowdle. I bet the chances of winning a football game go up significantly if you look at all the examples in history of a running back having 200-plus total yards and averaging, 6 yards a carry or whatever he was averaging. So, those are real wins. But those are also kind of good masks. Right? You can do a lot of other things pretty poorly and still win games with those types of performances. Which puts me in a really tough position logically, right? I'm not acting like I'm all-knowing here, because I don't think you can just say, that 200-yard performance from Rico Dowdle really covered up a lot. It's like, well, yeah, that's what football is. That's why football is awesome. It's the ultimate team sport. Right? If you have a quarterback that's good enough, you don't need great wide receivers. They'll throw them open and all those sorts of things. Right? The jokes about Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers during Aaron Rodgers' latter parts of his career and Tom Brady, right? You can give them the grocery checkout guys and they'll throw for 4,000 yards. That's good. You don't take that away. So Rico Dowdle ran so well that he covered up a bunch of holes in those games and they won. You don't take away the win, but you do acknowledge it's probably not repeatable. We've seen Bryce Young not be able to throw consistently for over 200 yards. So now he throws for 448. You probably shouldn't pencil in to next week, all right, we'll get our 320 yards passing. Where else are we going to get our production? So here's where it stands. I don't know if they're playing above 500 football quality-wise. I also don't know if it matters. They're above 500.
That's true.
That's where I kind of fall on both sides of the fence.
You're still in the conversation. That's the thing that matters most.
Winning games that you shouldn't win is a skill, right? And it's wildly important in football to be able to win games where you're not dominating the game. Right? It's one of my favorite little theories that I name, right? When you can go out and Max Scherzer a game, because Max Scherzer, for me, baseball fans, he was the guy that could show up and in warm-ups go, I got my C- stuff here, guys. Lost a couple miles an hour velo, not there. I can't control my off-speed stuff, and I'm just going to have to grind through this one. And through sheer force of staring and breathing heavy, he'd walk off the mound after 7 2/3 and 2 runs allowed. And it would just be like, he didn't place a pitch where he wanted to all night and somehow struck out 8 and gave us a quality start. Now, walking off the mound, you might say he didn't pitch that well. Scoreboard says he pitched great. That's a skill, right? There's not a lot of pitchers that can do that, and he did it consistently. So if the Panthers are walking off the field every game and it's going, I think they got outplayed, but they won by 3. That's a skill. And what it does is it buys you time to figure out how to play well. Eventually, you're going to have to unlock the Pandora's box that is your offense. You're going to have to run the ball well and pass well in the same game. Eventually, you're going to have to do that. But if you can win games without doing that, it buys you time to figure it out. I don't think the Panthers are playing above 500 football quality-wise. They're above 500. If they start playing above 500 football quality-wise from this point forward, then it gets interesting. Right? Because their schedule does get tougher. Even including the Falcons this past week. Before this game, they had the toughest schedule as far as winning records for the remaining opponents going into this week. So it gets tougher from here. But also, there's a lot of room for them to improve.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So DVOA, and I imagine whatever your metric is, right? Offense and defense, estimated points added per play, whatever your go-to, basically war-style stat analytic, right? War in baseball, it's just supposed to tell you, basically how good you're playing. Whatever your analytic is, it probably doesn't have the Panthers in the top half of the league. But wins and losses does. So that's really the only thing that matters. You don't give it back, but you acknowledge there is room for improvement, and you need to do it. Winning games like you won last game is what buys you the time to figure it out.
And I think this is all part of growing pains, right? But the key part of that is growth. which is what we've seen tremendously this season. We have seen a lot of growth, but a lot of frustration that goes along with it. There's growth and there's pain.
And I would even add this. Winning games that you shouldn't could become like a really weird self-fulfilling prophecy where you act like winners because you're winning games. And sometimes that confidence, right, it works. Right? If you're a quarterback that's pressing a little tight, you throw a pass you shouldn't throw, but it's caught. Maybe next time you're playing a little looser. You're no longer tight. You're no longer pressing because that one was completed. So now you're out there more in the flow state, and now you're playing well. And it's like, you know what? A bad throw unlocked you because it was a successful outcome. Think of it, golfers out there. Right? I know there's a lot of golfers in the area, and I can try to put it in an analogy that will make sense. And keep in mind, I'm a bad golfer. You ever play with somebody new, like a father-in-law or a boss or something, and you're super nervous? You might put a bad swing on a ball. If it lands on the green, next hole, you're ready to play, right? So it wasn't a good swing, but you just won a hole. You know what I mean? You just birdied. Now you're walking up to the next hole, chest popped out, ready to play. You're swinging more loose, and every golfer will tell you swinging more loose is way better than every muscle in your body being contracted. It can happen that way. You won a game, or you completed a pass, or you made a big play. Maybe it wasn't the best process to get there, but it worked. Now next game you show up with the strut of a winner, playing better. Do that 3 or 4 times, you might level up a time or two. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. And yes, DVOA has them as not a very good 6-5 team. Take that, nerds. They're 6-5. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's a lie. I actually like the stats game. When we come back, Copper Drop and a 3-headed race in college basketball competition that I can't wait to watch. Stick around.
Hey, it's Adam Golden. As the Carolina Hurricanes shoot for their 8th consecutive playoff appearance. That's right, 8 in a row. That's not the goal, I should remind you. The goal is being, as Rod Brindamore likes to say, the last team standing. What do they need? Who will get them there? You know where you can find the answers on every episode of the Canes Corner podcast, live on YouTube after games, and wherever you get your podcast. Rate, subscribe, like, share, tell your friends.
Stay informed with The Rundown, the daily newsletter from High School OT that delivers high school sports news and insights straight to your inbox. Brought to you by High School OT and powered by our sponsors, First Carolina Bank and Smith Douglas Homes. Subscribe to The Rundown at highschoolot.com.
At Smith Douglas Homes, we're proud to support our hometown heroes, teachers, healthcare workers, firefighters, and military. As a thank you, receive a $2,500 credit towards your new home purchase. Explore SmithDouglas.com. Smith Douglas, where it's your home, your choice, within reach.
Hi, I'm Marcy Bailey from Fox & Bailey Watch Shop. This Christmas, give a gift that stands the test of time. At Fox & Bailey, we offer an exquisite collection of the finest timepieces and distinct gifts. Perfect for that special someone on your list. Whether it's a sleek and modern design or a timeless classic, our expert team will help you find the perfect watch to fit any style. Because at Fox & Bailey, we know a watch is more than just a gift. It's a lasting memory. We proudly carry some of the world's most distinguished watch brands, including Omega, Blancpain, Glashütte Original, Tissot, Nomos, Hamilton, and Norqain. Not to mention that we have the largest collection of certified pre-owned and vintage Rolex watches in North Carolina. Make this holiday unforgettable with a watch or a unique gift from Fox & Bailey, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry Village District location in Raleigh.
There's no championship league for small business owners, but if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation, one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo. Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year. Performance that pays off, because when the job calls for the best, you answer. And when you need the best, you call on Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
We've really been leaning on our run game, and knowing that the defenses are going to try to play us a certain way to have that kind of balance. And even in the pass game, to make T-Mac a focal point of what we're doing should allow opportunities to show up for other guys. Xavier took advantage. Jalen Coker took advantage. The tight ends took advantage certainly today, and it really just felt like a balanced attack.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's the voice of, coming out of break, you heard Dave Canales, head coach of the Carolina Panthers. Talk about the dispersion of usage in the pass game for the Carolina Panthers. I will say this. It is easier to get everybody involved when you throw for 448 yards. There's just more yards to go around. That's a good problem to have. Everybody can have 100 yards when you got 450 of them to go around. Tight ends can have 54-yard catches. Let's get everybody involved. Tetterell McMillan 130. Usually, if you're throwing for 225, if one guy has 130, there's a little less to go around. So we'll see how that breaks down moving forward when they do have I don't want to say more realistic, but more normal output in the passing game.
I know you like stats.
I do. I love
them. So I've done a breakdown in terms of so far in Bryce's career, but also specifically this season, about games where he throws less than 30 pass attempts versus 30 plus.
Now, if somebody wanted to read that, where would they find that?
At 999thefan.com or the 99.9 The Fan app. Download. It's free. So in his career, Bryce Young 8-6 when he has thrown less than 30 pass attempts.
8-6? He's only done it 14 times.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Only done 14 times. It's now, after this Sunday, it's 4-20 when 30 or more pass attempts in his career. So if you actually looked at the games this season, in 5 games this season, he's thrown less than 30 pass attempts. And the Panthers are 4-1 in those 5 games. If you look at the average of those 5 games where he's been under 30 pass attempts, again, which is kind of like the sweet spot in terms of looking at his career, the average stat line in those 5 games, which again include 4 wins, he averaged going into Sunday a record. It was 15 of 24 passing for 137 yards. So when you look at total completions in those games, it's 15.
So he's quite frankly not being asked to carry the team in the wins.
Yes.
Kind of what I believe your stats are trying to tell us.
Yes. So 15 of 24, 137 yards, averaging about a touchdown and a turnover in those games.
I mean, that makes sense. It's obviously startling when you say it like that, but if you think back to the games that they've won, there are quite a few great Rico Dowdle performances or games where he turned it over early and they very much took the air out of the ball from the passing game.
Like the Dolphins game?
Like the Dolphins game, even with the comeback. They didn't really throw their way back into it and had 19 yards or something on the game-winning drive. So I will say this, and I think, there's probably a couple Bryce defenders saying this. In games where you are behind, you likely do throw more. Mm-hmm. So it could be a little chicken or the egg. He's only getting over 30 attempts because they're down 14 or whatever. So, it may not have been the cause that they lost that he threw the ball a bunch. He may have been throwing the ball a bunch because they were losing. But either way, you want your quarterback to be able to throw your way back into games, right? If you're down and you got to throw it, you hope a few of those end in wins, you know what I mean? Or a higher percentage of them end in at least closer contests. Listen, I don't think anybody is under the assumption that Bryce Young's production has been elite. I think what the defenders argue, and this is where I think disagreements happen because it's hypothetical, is that he could have better production if surrounded by more talent and given more advantageous play calls. That's the argument, and it's really hard to get into those debates because that's a matter of opinion, right? The statistics will tell you, outside of one game here or there, maybe 2 games a season, Bryce has not been a good quarterback. Right? That's statistics, that's facts, that's passer rating, QBR, that's yards, whatever stat you want to look at. The opinion could be, I've seen enough in those couple of games a year where he does look good to say he can do it. There are other factors holding him back. And we all are probably on some end of that spectrum. And I'm more, until he proves he can do it consistently, I think this year has been a much better gauge based on his supporting cast and everything else. And the production still hasn't really been there, except for this past game. But this past game was really gosh darn good. Do not get me wrong. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We kind of copter dropped there a little bit, but there was no official format to it. So let's jump into the official format and play a little copper drop.
You want true enlightenment? Well, I'm dropping.
All right, speaking of the Panthers, they're right there in the playoff mix, Tim. Copper drop, Panthers make the playoffs.
I'm still dropping. But I think it's good. Like, I don't want to say it's good they don't. It's good that we're asking that question. It's good, positive. I think at the beginning of the year, I'd have to go back and look, and one of you might be able to find it on our YouTube. I said if they win 8 games, we celebrate. If they win 8 games, we celebrate. You know, it's still very much within the realm of possibility. You only need to find 2 more, right? Like, if they win 8 games, if they don't make the postseason, you will not hear me crying about not getting to play, and get smoked in the first round. I will be excited if they win 8 games. And I think, everything we said earlier is true. That means you're playing games that matter into December. You are learning how to handle that pressure. And it's, like last year when they played well at the end, it's easy to play free and loose when you're mathematically eliminated and you're trying to spoil other people's seasons. And, you can already book your trip to Cabo for the day after the last regular season game. Like, it's a different beast. So I think it's good that we're asking that question. I still think the Bucs are going to get more healthy, and they're going to be the team.
All right, along those same lines with the Carolina Panthers, Copper dropped 6 games left, 6-5 on the season. 3 wins to get to 9 above 500 to finish the season. Copper dropped. The Panthers finish above 500.
Ooh, all right. Let's play the game real quick. The win-loss 50-50 game.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Niners on the road, odds would say it's a loss. It's not impossible, right? Anything is possible. Odds would say it's a loss. And I mean, if Panther fandom is anything like it's been in the past, Christian McCaffrey is going to have 300 yards. Just prepare yourself for it. Rams, I think the Rams are one of, if not the best team in the conference. That's a tough one. Even though it's home, Stafford, Puka, Devontae, they're good.
And also keep in mind, it's going to be a short week because you got to fly back from the West Coast. That's going to really kill a lot of your preparation going into that Sunday game against the Rams.
So I'll put both of those as losses.
Okay.
New Orleans, I'll put as a win. I think there's going to be there's going to be a revenge factor. There's going to be an anger factor. I expect that to be a win. I think they split Tampa, probably lose Seattle, unless Seattle has everything locked up in a weird way, which I don't anticipate them having because that division is very good.
Mm-hmm.
What does that get? That gets them to 7. So I'm dropping 8.
So I said 9.
Oh, I'm dropping 9. What does that? Oh, sorry, that gets them to 8.
Gets them to 8.
Yes. Yeah. Gets them to 8. They 1 short. That's the way I'm going, and I'm sticking to it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they get to 9. 8, I'm celebrating. So I'm not upset to be predicting 8.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets to 9, even more so. We have to ramp it up or something. I guess you could catch Tampa twice. I guess you could. The Niners might be gettable just based on their injury situation, although Kittle and Purdy looked pretty darn good this past weekend. They better be ready to cover the tight end.
All right, cop or drop. Let's actually shift our focus to the ice.
Let's do it.
Carolina Hurricanes. Cop or drop. The Carolina Hurricanes make a trade for a goaltender this season. Cop or drop?
I'm dropping. And I'm dropping for 2 reasons. First reason, goalies don't grow on trees.
They don't.
There's not a lot of people out there, not a lot of teams out there that are just, hey, we got this stud goalie. Who wants him? Right? It's not on Facebook Marketplace like, a first rounder or best offer. Like, it's OBO or best offer. That doesn't exist. I saw somebody say this about the Tetero McMillan pick, and I wish I remembered who tweeted it because I'd give them a bibliography. Tetero McMillan's playing well, and their comment basically just said, you have to draft a number 1 wide receiver because they don't hit the market. And it's like, oh, when you put it that way, makes a lot of sense, right? That it's very rare until they hit their maybe 30 or 31-year-old season for a true number 1 to hit the market. Like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua. These guys aren't just going to become available. I think similarly about goalies. I think you might just have to develop one, or else it's very hard to acquire one without giving up the sun, the moon, and the stars. And that leads me to my second point for why I'm dropping it. We just haven't seen the Canes make the move, right? This isn't the first year where it seemed like goalie was something that they needed, right? It seems like every offseason it's, all right, they need some help on the blue line and maybe a goalie. They need a second-line center and maybe a goalie. They need a volume scorer and maybe a goalie, and they've never really pulled the trigger on any of those moves to go make the splash for a goaltender. That's not to say they can't. It's not to say that Eric Tulsky hasn't made calls about him, because I assume he has. But, they haven't done it in the past, so I'm not going to act like I assume they will make a big move this time.
Yeah, and it's not like the goalie market is very...
That's what I mean.
Yeah, you're going to go after UC Saros, who still has, 7 years left on his contract after this year, I think, with Nashville. He has a no movement clause, so you could just say no. But you go after Jordan Binnington from St. Louis. I mean, who's not going to lie, his name is on the Stanley Cup, was also the starting goalie for Canada in the Four Nations. Might be their starting goalie in the Olympics. We'll see. But it's I have not a whole lot out there.
One more wrench in my copper drop. This is just I don't know, and I like putting it on Front Street when I don't know. I don't know how analytics judge goalies. I don't know how obviously the goals allowed over expected and all of that is used quite often. But I imagine it's more difficult, right? Because so much of it is how they're playing in front of you, what type of shots you're facing, and everything else. So I don't know, because I mean, obviously Eric Tulsky leans on the analytics, and there's that whole side of the Canes. So I'm not as well versed in goalie analytics as I am obviously other sports. So maybe maybe Binnington is the hockey guys don't know, but the analytics love him or something like that, in which case it would become more of a Canes target than I think he is just on the surface in my initial reaction.
All right, final one here. Cop or drop? Caleb Wilson at North Carolina college basketball. Caleb Wilson in North Carolina, Cam Boozer from Duke, and Darrion Williams from NC State all make first-team ACC at the end of this season. Cop or drop?
As long as there is no positional requirement, they all make first-team All-ACC. I am copping that.
Okay.
It's not like back in the day where it's like, well, we only have 2 forward spots. So if the 3 best players in the ACC are all forwards, one of them's got to be second team.
Got to have a center.
Yeah, got to have a center. There's one that played 17 minutes, so let's put him up there just because we need a center. That used to happen in basketball. It's ridiculous. Let's cut the copper drop, though. I'm copping all 3 ACC first team.
Okay.
And the reason why I want to cut the copper drop there is because I think this is a battle for not just awards, although that's how it's going to be phrased, right? ACC Player of the Year, All-American recognition, all certain, I don't even know all the trophies that are possible to win in college basketball. But those 3 guys playing for those 3 teams this season is going to be a competition that I hope they embrace, right? I hope they're checking box scores for what did they do, because the 3 of them can push each other to levels that haven't happened amongst all 3 teams at the same time in a while. I have their stats in front of me thus far through this year. Now, keep in mind, super small sample size. Right? The level of competition they've played has been varied, okay? I'm not sitting here saying that they've all played the exact same level. They've all been defended by the exact same level of defenses or anything like that. But I'm trying to paint the picture that these dudes can hoop. Darrion Williams We'll go in order of points per game. Darrion Williams is averaging 23.2 points, 6.3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.5 steals per game. And I'll give you a little like side. Like I'm just going to read the stats, but I'll give you one fun fact about each. Williams is shooting 62% from 3 on over 5 attempts per game. That's not like, oh, he's shooting 60% and he's 3 of 5. No, he's shooting 5 attempts over 5 per game. He's shooting 62% from 3. I said in order of points per game. Cam Boozer, Duke, 22.5 points, 10.3 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 1.8 steals, 1.8 blocks. He and Williams are playing almost the exact same amount of minutes, by the way, 28.5, 28.8. The fun fact there, of the 3, he leads them in rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. And then Caleb Wilson, UNC. He plays the fewest minutes, about 2 minutes less, 26.5, averages 20 points, 9.5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks, and the fun fact, leads the country going into yesterday's games in dunks. So he is playing with power and energy. Those 3 guys, how do you, like, if you are the Pittsburgh beat writer that gets to choose, gets a vote in the player of the year, and you, by the way, you have to, right? There's no beat writers out there that can watch every game of every team in the ACC. It's 17 teams that are playing multiple times a week. There's not enough time in the day. So part of it has to be stat watching. Part of it is box score watching. How do you choose between those 3? Right? Because you might go, oh, this guy has more points, but that guy has more assists, rebounds, steals. Oh, this guy has, more assists, rebounds, steals, but that guy's more efficient. This guy's teammates do this, so this guy's more valuable to his team. Those 3 are so astronomically good at college basketball that somebody finishing 3rd in player of the year voting might feel like a gigantic snub. And it might be one of those situations where, you know, you see this in like teams every once in a while where like a conference has the 3 best teams in the country. You're like not even in your conference championship game, but you're the 3rd best team in the country. Like you might be 3rd in the conference in player of the year for player of the year ACC and be 3rd in national player of the year voting. Like that's on the table. No disrespect to the DeMonces or the Braden Smiths from Purdue. Like they're all like worthy opponents, but it's on the table as far as outcomes. And the thing I love about this competition, and it's going to be storylines, right? From a media perspective, narratives, right? I hope Williams goes out there and has a 32-12 game, and Boozer checks the Twitter the next day and goes 32-12, bet 34-15 that night, and then Caleb Wilson is like 34-15. Watch this: 30, 10, 7, 4, and 6. Right? Just something outlandish. I want them one-upping each other. So we can watch it like it's a horse race. We can watch it like so-and-so is in the front. Oh, look, now they're passing on the outside. Oh, a huge assist stay for Boozer. He moves out. He makes a move out on the rail. Like, I want that. But even better than that, even better than the play is the situations, the personalities, how they got to where they are. They're not the same, right? Temperament on the court. I'll describe this. Wilson, hair on fire. Right? He makes a big play. He's running to midcourt to flex. Like he is trying to get the crowd involved. Boozer still flexes and everything. And by the way, I think as a freshman, I was 6'4", 174 pounds. He is built like he could be a bodybuilder, right? When he does, I'm goodness gracious, dude. But he has, for me, a personality much more businesslike, right? He's there on a mission, right? Dunk. Oh, I got a free throw coming. Let me knock this down. Let me get back on D. Let me block this shot. Williams, I don't even know how to describe mischievous, maybe, the way I describe him on the court. Like he's got a secret, scores, and it's like, you see that 3? More where that came from. Like, I don't know. It's their temperaments are different. So seeing how they interact on the court is going to be fascinating. Seeing how they react to each other is going to be fascinating. I am furious with the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, for not having them all play each other twice. Right? The fact that we're going to get one edition of Williams-Wilson and one edition of Williams-Boozer is a real bummer to me. And not to mention, part of it is, and I know that I can hear Duke and UNC fans saying it already, Williams is much older than the other two. But that's part of it, right? Everybody matures at their own rate. Williams, maybe, by the way, we're talking about college basketball players this year. So, I'm not talking about who's the better NBA prospect. I'm not talking about who's better recruit. I'm talking about when they're trying to win games this year, who's bringing the most to the table at any point in the season. Credit to Boozer and Wilson that they're being mentioned with Williams, right? Because it didn't take them 3-4 years of college to get to this point. But either way, they're all at the point, right? They're all there. I want to see how this one plays out. And because of it, right, because it's so obvious, right, because like every coach that like in this group knows that's the tip of our spear, right? That's the straw that stirs our drink, whatever you want to call it. I want to know how much they do play into it, right? Maybe, you're up 15, there's 3 minutes left. You let your guy get a couple more buckets because you want them to win, and you should. Athletes are wildly competitive. Let them show everybody how good they are, and we'll all sit back and just enjoy. Because they are really gosh darn good. And because of that is why I'm that and others, right? It's not one-man teams, by the way, but they are, like I said, they are the premier option. But because of that, it's a big reason. These three guys are a big reason why I believe we're going to see as good a basketball, like top to bottom in the triangle, that we've seen in a long time. It is, in the one-and-done era, which, I believe Boozer and Wilson will absolutely be one and done. In the one-and-done era, it seems like we have a lot of near misses.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, man, it would have been so much fun to see that guy play that guy, but they were 1 year off. Would have been so much fun to see him guard him, but they were, one was in 2017 and one was in 2015. The fact that all three, and by the way, Williams will only be spending 1 year at NC State, so they're all kind of one and done in the triangle. The fact that all three are the same year, similar positions, although, I'm sure they won't guard each other the whole game, but similar positions, like that is fortuitous. Take advantage of it. Watch it. Enjoy it. Be an ACC basketball fan.
Like you said, it's the only year we're going to get it.
Yeah. And you, like, I'm not saying it's this level, but I'm saying it could be a lower version of, like, how often do you see the picture of, like, Len Bias guarding Jordan, right? Two guys that were drafted top of their draft, and they played for teams that were in the ACC battling against each other. How do you know you're in the glory days before you leave them, or whatever the saying is? This year is one of them. I'm telling you, you're in the glory days. Enjoy it. You don't want to be, 10 years into the future. They're all on their third All-Star game, fifth All-Star game, a couple All-NBA teams amongst them, and going like, I didn't appreciate it when they were all right here. I'm telling you to appreciate it.
And all three of those guys can easily be All-American in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Some form of All-American, all three of those guys.
Easily. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis Cox.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for Loan Pronto. Folks, what if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Right now at Loan Pronto, they got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. So act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Again, 919-381-1760, and see how much cash you can get today. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Up next, for all intents and purposes, the big lofty goals that college football teams in the Triangle started their season with are off the table. So how will this season be remembered, and how much can change in the rest of the regular season and maybe a bowl game or two? Next.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Are you maxed out on credit?
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Brady and Belichick missed the playoffs once in Tom Brady's first season as a full-time starter. This is too deep into this run to miss the playoffs. They got destroyed in the Super Bowl. They don't look dominant on offense. Denver is significantly better. If they don't make the playoffs this year, I do not want to hear about this Chiefs dynasty in the same sentence as the Patriots dynasty.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
The Black Friday sales event is on at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Right now, take advantage of over $11,000 off a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee or a new 2025 Jeep Grand L. We've got 11 to choose from, but when they're gone, they're gone. So don't wait to get your $11,000 off. Jeep, go anywhere, do anything. See dealer for details. Get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington today.
This holiday, give the gift that celebrates every moment. An Omega watch from Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Explore the largest Omega showroom in the area and discover timepieces crafted with Swiss precision and timeless design. Visit Bailey's today in Raleigh's Village District or online at baileybox.com. Voted best place to buy a watch.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. So this weekend there was a lot going on, especially if you are just a straight sports fiend like I am here in this part of the country, right? There were basketball games going on, hockey games going on, football games going on, NFL, college. There's so much. So yesterday, we didn't get a chance to focus on maybe the ramifications of a lot of the games that were played. All three teams from the Triangle college football lost. NC State got smoked by Miami. UNC lost to Wake Forest. Duke lost to Virginia. And all of those games do add up to, I think, the lofty goals that we set, the expectations that were set within the programs are pretty much off the table. Right? I think Duke, many times throughout the year, felt like if they put together their full, complete game, they could have made a run at an ACC championship. With the loss to Virginia, that's pretty much off the table. UNC with Bill Belichick, I mean, the expectations at the beginning of the year were, at minimum, to be matching kind of what Mac Brown was putting out there. And, at this point, pretty much off the table, right? 4 wins through this point in the season. And NC State returning Hollywood Smothers and Noah Rogers and Justin Jolie and C.J. Bailey and so many. And some would say the changes at the coordinator spots were given a little bit of optimism. not going to live up to what they were hoping to, right? The 8-9 plus win season, maybe the ever elusive for Dave Doran 10-win season. Not going to happen. So what will each of these seasons be remembered as for those teams? And can anything change with the last couple remaining games in the regular season and maybe a bowl game, right? Because as of right now, bowl games not guaranteed, right? As much as you'd like to pencil them in, look at Duke 5-5 and say they'll beat either North Carolina or Wake Forest, right? That's all it takes, but you haven't punched your ticket yet. I'll start with Duke since I just used them as an example. How is this season going to be remembered? This is how I will remember this season. It's the first speed wobbles in the post-Cutcliffe rise. Right? I think the transition from Elko to Manny Diaz was bananas. Right? You're worried about taking that step back when Mike Elko leaves the way he did, and instead, they just kind of kept it rolling, right? Malik Murphy came in, played well. Next week, you get one of the most coveted transfers on the market in Darrion Mensah. Like, everything was moving, and this is the first time it was like, whoa, got out over your skis a little bit, huh? And because of that, we get to see how this program reacts, right? Really, since Riley Leonard was running down the right sideline against Clemson on that 40-yard touchdown run, followed by the field storming. Since then, there's been a lot of positivity around Duke. Even when they lose, it's kind of like, yeah, but they hosted College Game Day. Yeah, but Manny Diaz kept the momentum going, right? There was always that big positive. I don't know if there's that big positive yeah, but right now. They simply had a team that had a lot of really good pieces. Some injuries, don't get me wrong, and some things out of your control, but they flashed the potential and then didn't quite get there. Next year, to me, becomes super important. What can they change over their last few weeks? Here's what I think they can change. With all of the rising momentum that they've had, last year they had almost no departures from the transfer portal. Outside of Malik Murphy is really the only – and the running back that went to Tennessee. They really didn't have many big-name transfers. They were one of the most retained teams in the country. I think you can build momentum to potentially do that again, and if you do, maybe the lessons learned this year become the building blocks for next year. You can't assume that until we get through the transfer portal window, right? Every team is their own team. Every year is their own year in college football now. But that's to me what you're doing. You want guys to have a positive taste in their mouth going into the offseason so they want to stick around and finish what didn't get finished this year. You beat North Carolina. You beat Wake Forest at home. You go to a bowl game. You have a good experience there. I think that's possible. NC State. How will this season be remembered for NC State? Well, as of right now, I think it's going to be remembered differently than it will a month from now. As of right now, I think the biggest thing was the defensive change after Tony Gibson left was a little too much. Probably undersold. Didn't bring in enough difference makers on defense. And because of that, the onus put on the offense was a little too much. Even if at times it appeared like the offense was built as sturdy as anything and you could put the weight of the world on their shoulders like Atlas. Turns out you couldn't put the whole game on their shoulders every game. They cracked under the pressure occasionally. So you hope moving forward, right, the defense can grow in their new system and get a couple more playmakers in there, and that won't be the case moving forward. I think they, more than any, right, their remaining schedule, I'll give you that and say, like, what can change over the remaining schedule. They have Florida State and North Carolina both at home, both night games, by the way. Cool atmospheres. Here's the question. I think most of what can change over the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks for NC State happens away from the game field. I think they need to do some real introspective looking at each other. They have to decide who they are, what they want to be, and what's acceptable. Who are you? Like, are you a team that's going to spend with the top of the ACC? Virginia Tech just leveled up their financial commitment. UNC last year leveled up their financial commitment. You know what Florida State and Miami and Clemson do in bounce-back years after not being very good. They find money. At a certain point, and I know that Dave Doran's a big part of this, right? He's been around a long time and hasn't quite gotten over the big hump in 10 wins and all that. At a certain point, you do have to spend to get results. If you win these next 2 games and you've shown all the potential and you want to keep C.J. Bailey, you want to keep Hollywood Smothers, if he doesn't go pro, you want to keep some of these guys, they're not going to be cheap. And guess what? As you proved this year, having those guys and not having more playmakers isn't good enough. You have to come up with the money to keep them, the money to get more. And if you move on from Dave Doran, and who knows how that all breaks down, I'm not here to predict or prognosticate, no insider information. We'll have time for those conversations. Nobody's going to take the job if you're not spending near the top of the ACC. Watch how the college football playoff shakes out. The 7th best team in the ACC doesn't get a sniff of the CFP. So if you're not spending to be in the top 3, top 2, and the coaches aren't going to like that. So you got to decide, what are you okay with? What are you accepting? Is the occasional 8-9 win season and most of the times bowl eligible, is that okay? Because if it is, then you got to move forward accordingly. And you can reach that, and you can be happy this year. Right? They're sitting at 5-5. You can go win 2, maybe 8 games. You win both and you win a bowl game, you're at 8. If that's acceptable to you, cool. If it's not, better dig into your pocketbook. UNC, how will UNC season be remembered as it stands right now? I mean, you know what it is. The Belichick circus. That is what this season will be remembered for. And it is, the future will determine how this one is remembered, unfortunately. I don't think that's fair to this season, right? Because I believe there's some players in there that have put in some good hard work. If you watch the tape from their first couple of games to where they are now, particularly on defense, there are some players you're like, who is wearing that guy's jersey from the first couple games? Because they're more sound fundamentally, assignment-wise. They're flying around. They're playing better on defense. If Bill Belichick sticks around, which he keeps saying he will, he put out a statement, right? If he's here next year and they win 8 games, they win 9 games, they win 10 games, you're going to look back at this year and say, it all flipped when they started playing good defense, and it's going to be everybody was wrong. If they show up next year and it's a cluster bleep, this year will be the year everything unraveled. What changes over the next couple games? I can't imagine anything. Although I will say this, with the way that Michael Lombardi and Bill Belichick have talked about this 33rd NFL team and everything's professional and they're going to scout like a pro team, you know what pro teams do? They cut guys. There's not a lot of loyalty, right? You don't have a good game and it's week 6, you could be unemployed by week 7. Mm-hmm. Like that's how the pros operate. So the next time you're on the field, it's an audition. You don't want to get that, hey, can you grab your playbook and go see Lombardi? He wants to see you in his office. Anybody that's ever watched Hard Knocks knows what that's about, right? So if you're a receiver and you catch for 120 yards in the next 2 games combined, touchdown, probably safe till next year. You have 2 drops, guess what? They might call you in and say, we appreciate everything you've done for the program. We suggest you put your name in the portal. That's the life of a pro, right? And 33rd NFL team. So what can change? A whole bunch in the next 2 games. Unless you're, one of the few that has the stats to go, now we're going to keep you around. Everybody else, I don't know if it's an audition, but it's definitely something I'd want to play well in because I want my spot.
Well, there's also the inverse of that. Like players that they might want to keep might say, I don't want to be around this. We'll go somewhere else.
True. I mean, if you play well enough, then you have options.
Yeah.
You get leverage, right? And by the way, Lombardi and Belichick know that too, right? Mm-hmm. Contract year. Everybody's in a contract year. They play well, they're going to be asking for more money, they're going to be asking for more opportunity, and they'll be threatening to leave. Or at least their agent will be. Oh, college football. Everybody loves it.
Everyone loves that, right?
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the starting five coming up next. Another thing that was probably stressing out some UNC fans, a report from WRAL. Not a good one for UNC football. Stick around.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan. The ACC, the SEC, the biggest matchups will be found here.
Placement down, kick is up, and Texas A&M has climbed the mountain. They trailed 30-3 at halftime. They lead South Carolina 31-30.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford.
Your home shelters your dreams and protects your memories. At Baker Home Exteriors, we understand this deeply. It's why we've dedicated ourselves to caring for homes like yours. As part of the Baker Roofing family, we bring a century of expertise to every project, from roofing and siding to windows and decks. We don't just upgrade homes, we help protect the life you've built within them. Because your home is where our heart is. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and start your home's next chapter.
Lights are going up, snow is falling down. There's a feeling of goodwill around town. It could only mean one thing. McRib is here.
The McRib season gets even more magical when you pair it with any size Dr. Pepper for just $1.49. At participating McDonald's for a limited time. Price and participation may vary.
McRib is here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey, folks, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Obviously, in the world of sports, we look at stats, we look at numbers. Well, here's a number for you. 42. 42 pounds. That's how much weight I've lost in just over 3 months thanks to the program over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. You want another statistic? That's over 15% of my body weight. 15% of my body weight gone in 3.5 months thanks to the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And if you have questions or concerns about Raleigh Weight Loss Center, visit them online at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506, and set up a free 15-minute phone call. Raleigh Weight Loss Center has helped a bunch of people like myself lose anywhere between 10 to 20% of their body weight. I am living, breathing, walking proof that the program definitely can work. There's no shots, no injections, just your body doing the natural thing. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or 919-897-7506, 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. Rain chances return to the forecast tonight, but they'll hold off until after midnight. 50 degrees the low tonight with showers possible midnight through 6 a.m. Wednesday turns out to be a warm day. It's partly cloudy with a high of 73.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones today down 498 points to 46,091.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do a lot of work there, putting out content. We're trying to grow that community. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. It's a vibe. Also, jump in that comment section. Subscribe while you're there. Then jump in the comment section. There's a lot of lively debates happening. You can throw your 2 cents. We greatly appreciate it. And the next time we hit a big milestone, probably 25,000 subscribers, something like that, I'm sure we'll have another cool giveaway. Gave away what was it? Was that the Ike Ekwonu signed football last time?
Yeah, we had Ike Ekwonu signed football last time.
So tell your friends, get to those milestones faster. We'll have more cool science stuff to give away. With that being said, it's time for the starting five, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, this is not going to be a fun conversation for supporters of UNC football, but the facts are what the facts are. WRAL are, I should say, we are under the same Capital Broadcasting umbrella, so there are colleagues over there. Pat Welter, Randall Kerr, a couple of sports reporter, investigative producer, put together a article which you can find on WRAL.com. An alarming trend has surfaced among college football players at the University of North Carolina. There is a significant portion, and I'll give you the numbers to back it up, of the UNC football roster has received speeding and or reckless driving charges over the past year. They did a bunch of records requests. They did a bunch of analysis. Again, check out the article for full context, WRAL.com. 20% of North Carolina's 101-player football roster has been cited for speeding since last October, totaling 31 speeding charges and 10 reckless driving counts. The article notes that a significant portion of athletes recruited under Bill Belichick have contributed. Now, I want to be clear here. Me, college guys getting speeding tickets, let he amongst us that didn't act a little aggressive in college in some way foolishly cast the first stone, right? Like, there's levels to this. Sure. 57 in a 45. Don't do it, right? Learn your lesson. Not all of them are of that variety, right? When I was younger, I got some speeding tickets. They were of that variety. They were, oh man, didn't realize I was a couple miles over, and whoop, you got me. Sorry, officer. A few of the examples. How about this one? Kamori House, a recent transfer from the University of Washington, has accumulated 5 speeding tickets and 4 reckless driving charges in a short span. 4 reckless driving. 2 of the citations, the law enforcement noted that his Dodge Charger, quote, must be too much car for him, close quote, and that his repeated infractions are no longer a mistake, but a behavioral problem. Thaddeus Dixon, another incoming transfer from Washington, received 4 tickets for speeding and 1 for reckless driving. He was cited going 93 in a 50. He did tell police officers that he was trying to pass another car. To put this in perspective, right, they obviously, as any journalist should do, they didn't just take UNC's and goes, these numbers are astronomical. They also tried to compare it to something, find a control for the experiment. NC State has a larger roster of players. So UNC has 101 players, NC State has 124. Only 10 speeding citations and 2 reckless driving charges, compared to 31 speeding charges and 10 reckless driving accounts with 23 less people. I don't want to sit here and, right, I'm trying to, college guys, college-aged people occasionally are not their best decision makers in their life. Driving, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 miles an hour over the speed limit is the type of like, hey, he was being foolish that could lead to catastrophe. Wesley Grimes of NC State, accused of going 122 miles per hour on Interstate 540. Those are the things that can lead to legitimate tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sit here and say this is on the coach, because I know that's how a lot are going to put it. You're an adult by the time you're in college, right? Like if you're 20, if you're 19, if you're 22, if you're 23, whatever age these guys are, and you're doing it, that's you. Like, what's the analogy that up until 18, it's free play, and then above 18, you're playing for keeps. Like, you're in that portion of your life now. So, I guess you could say you got to recruit people that are like more. I don't even want to get into that because that's like, how do you know what type of driver they are when they get NIL money and can buy a really fast car? I pause from putting all of this on the coaching staff. I do think there is something culturally in that locker room, meaning just the numbers are higher as far as citations and things in that locker room than they should be. I don't know how you fix it other than, like, they're employees at this point in time.
Well, I remember the University of Georgia had something similar. I remember actually after they won a national championship, there was like a player and a staffer that were involved in like basically a couple cars that were high speed on the highway. One of them got in an accident, and a staffer actually died.
And UNC also had something similar. Again, I'll read from the article. By the way, you're right. Georgia has had a ton of citations, and they have started suspending players and things. WRAL.com. In January 2024, UNC student Molly Rotunda died in a single-car crash. She was a passenger in a car going 124 miles per hour. The driver, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing, Flamisia Brewer, pleaded guilty to felony death by vehicle, driving while impaired, and speeding 124 miles an hour in a 45 miles per hour zone. Court records show former UNC offensive lineman Zach Rice was following that car at a high rate of speed. He pleaded guilty to possession of alcohol by someone younger than 21 and driving after consuming alcohol. So, the tragedies are around the corner when you make some of the decisions being made. I just think, especially in this modern era, where players are getting paid by the school, like the rev share, you're an employer. You're an employee, right? You can I don't know, I guess, suspend and end contracts. But, if I get a speeding ticket, I don't expect Capital Broadcasting to have to answer for my speeding ticket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different world. It's no longer what it used to be with, like, coaches are father figures for their students. They're in a lot of ways bosses, and they're responsible for you clocking in and clocking out and everything off the clock. That's on you, and you got to be better.
I know Georgia athletes, in the same article written by WRAL, Pat Welter and crew, that Georgia athletes who get in trouble behind the wheel lost their right for compensation for name, image, and likeness. That's one way to crack down on it.
Yep. And if UNC wants to do that, they can. Right? But again, from the article, and I encourage you all to read it, NC State responded and said, if you get a speeding ticket, you are not required to, disclose it to the coaching staff. So some of these, the coaches would have no way of knowing it's even happening. It's just, some of the numbers are startling as far as volume and type of infractions. There needs to be a fix. I put the onus more on the players than on the support staff. If they want to support them, if they want to bring in safe driving exhibitions or exhibitions, and you want to start doing things like that and punishing and everything, I'm for it. But this is the big boy world. This is the adult world. You know what I mean? Your decisions are your decisions, and if there's consequences, you should have to pay them. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Dish is right for Lewis, 10 to shoot. Snaps it up top. Ward drives in, lost the ball. Williams has it, throws it ahead. Holloman, left lane, rises, swirls the ball, and scores a finger roll.
By the way, I do want to acknowledge that conversation we just had real serious. Okay, there's no smooth transition from somebody is risking their lives driving 120 in a 45 and talking about serious tragedies that have happened straight into, I'm glad they shot the well from 3. There's no easy transition. So I just want to make sure everybody knows I'm aware. That's more important than this stuff. But we do talk sports here, so that's what we're going to do. NC State men's basketball beat VCU last night, 85-79. The first 13 minutes of the game, still back and forth. VCU a good team, right? They're projected to be one of the top teams in the group of 5. First 13 minutes, Darrion Williams talking about kind of the lead dog for the Wolfpack. This is going to end up being how they have the Gordie Howe hat trick? there needs to be like an NC State double-double, which is like at least 10 points, efficient shooting, and a technical. Because they've had technicals in darn near every game. Coaches have them, players have them. There was an ejection for a flagrant too. In the first 13 minutes, Darrion Williams had a technical foul. He was 5 for 5 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3, and had 13 of the team's 29 points. That's like the Will Wade double-double.
Yeah.
When you have an impactful game and a technical, all right, you've done it all. They're bringing the energy. It was the first time this year that it felt like the Trey Hollimans, the Darrion Williams said, all right, we got it, fellas. Right, Darrion Williams, all Big 12 last year. Trey Holliman, 100 starts in the Big 10 prior to the transfer. They combined for 53 points. That's why they're there. Right? They're the steady Eddie. They're the keystones. We can depend on them. Paul McNeil, who had 27 points a couple games ago and is a flamethrower when he gets hot from shooting the ball. He was scoreless in 28 minutes. Didn't play much last year, right? Returned, didn't play a ton. Did have good rebounding numbers, like some good other metrics, but right, when he goes cold, Williams, Holliman, some of the vets, I got it. And then Matt Abel came off the bench, 12 points in 17 minutes. They're 5-star freshman. In those first 13 minutes I was talking about, he had 8 points. So, like, that's the roles, right? You have the vets, the provens. They should be showing up way more often than they're not. Some of the other guys, it could be hot hand, game to game. Matt Abel gets hot, cool. That's where the third shooter can be. Paul McNeil gets hot, beautiful. He could be even a second or a first shooter. Some of the other guys will play their roles. But it all starts with Darrion Williams, and I would say Trey Holliman is a leader. I don't know if he'll score 25 that often, but he can run the show as a guy that's been through a lot in games where he doesn't get ejected, which did happen a couple games ago. That is number 4. Let's hit number 3.
Off the back. Iron from Wilson comes soaring in to dunk it home.
UNC hosting Navy men's basketball tonight. This is another opportunity for them to continue working. Right? You should beat Navy. Right? You should take it in as a cool experience. Playing against a service academy is really exciting. So I do believe that it matters. I think it's we've talked about it when Duke went to Army. I think it's good compartmentalizing practice, because before the game, right, coaches should be talking to you about what an honor it is to play against guys that have committed to go defend our country and things like that. And then once the game starts, you do have to lock in, and it's good distraction practice, right? Because unlike in other games where you're just talking basketball the whole time, I think you should have other conversations when you're playing Navy. Other than that, I'm still looking for the big guys to be big. Henry Vasar, Caleb Wilson, dunks. I don't want that to stop. I want that to be the norm, right? As of a couple days ago, they were number 1 and I think it was 3 or 4 in the country in dunks, total dunks. I want more of that. I want big-to-big passing. I want alley-oops from 6'10" to 7 foot. I want lobs. I want the high-profile, high-percentage shots. And then off of that, you can build everything else, right? Kyan Evans can be the shooter. You can get your slashers going. When Seth Trimble comes back, he can slice down the lane and get dunks. But I think it starts inside. It starts inside. Navy at UNC basketball tonight. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Duke versus Kansas. Madison Square Garden. There's a few points here. I'll start with this. Kansas. How badly do they want to be in the Triangle? How badly do they want to be in the ACC? Like they're playing, every year they're playing all 3. They're just Where and when? We'll host you in our place. We'll go to your place. We'll meet you in MSG. We'll play in Vegas, I think, at one point in time. They're playing the triangle. I respect Kansas for doing it because those are tough non-conference games. Part of the air has been let out of the balloon in this matchup. Darren Peterson, not expected to play for Kansas. I think he may have even been ruled out. He is one of the best 3 or 4 freshmen in the country, depending on which site you look at. Many have him as the best freshman in the country. And when you say that, right, when Kansas played UNC earlier this year, I told you they play everybody in the triangle. Caleb Wilson had a big game, freshman for UNC. And after the game, he said, I have a list of people that I want to make sure I go outplay and outperform. And he was on there. I wanted Cam Boozer to have his chance, right? I wanted Cam Boozer to say, this is why I should be the number 1 pick. This is why I'm the best freshman in the country, Darren Peterson. And Peterson's injury is going to keep that from being a on the court at the same time statement. I still expect Cam Boozer to make a statement. Right? I still expect him to have a good game. I still expect him to play to the lights of Madison Square Garden. It's just the little bit of the air has been let out of the balloon because that premier matchup won't be happening. I've said this about Duke, and I want to be clear. It's not an insult to Duke. It is just part of being the early part of the season. I don't know what their season is going to be. I don't know what their story is going to be. Right now they've been, and this is, again, a weird way, is why I have to keep emphasizing not an insult, because I can see somebody taking it as like a backhanded compliment. Their season has been blandly good basketball. It's just been play, win by a bunch, there you go. I need to figure out what the problem is. It's Draft Day with Kevin Costner.
Okay.
Right? You know I love a movie reference where he's going, Peyton Manning didn't have the strongest arm. In the end, it just didn't matter. John Elway threw it too hard. He was breaking his wide receiver's fingers. But in the end, it just didn't matter. We have to figure out what the flaw is in the quarterback prospect and figure out if it matters. I think that's kind of true for Duke, right? There is no such thing as a perfect college basketball team. And I don't think anyone's accusing Duke of being a perfect college basketball team, especially, not this early. I need to figure out what's the thing they need to overcome and then figure out if it matters. Right? Last year's Duke team, I keep bringing it up. Early in the season, they did not execute well on final possessions of close games. And that became the thing that we had to figure out if it mattered, and in the end, kind of did. What's their thing this year, and does it matter? Maybe we see some glimpses of it at Kansas. Maybe. You have to watch to find out. It's a late game, right? Like 9 o'clock, something like that?
Yeah, 9 o'clock tip. You can actually listen to it over on Buzz Sports Radio.
There you go.
We'll have the coverage over there.
That's number 2. Let's hit number 1.
The one! And out rolls to Nystrom. Nystrom with traffic. It's a flick to the shoot, score! Carolina gets the shot through. And the captain with the net front again. Jordan Stahl's 5th of the year has Carolina up 1-0.
The Canes won last night 3-1 on the road in Boston to start a 4-game road trip. It's Minnesota tomorrow next up, I believe. You can hear that right here on 99.9 The Fan.
That's a radio-only broadcast, by the way.
If you want to catch Mike and Tripp, better be right here on 99.9 or the 99.9 The Fan app. So you can mute the TV, bring the phone up, 99.9 The Fan app. There you go. With that being said, for more reaction to last night's win, the 3-1 win over Boston on the road, here's Adam Gold with 2 Minutes of Gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 players with 2 points each as the Canes claim 2 points, winning by 2 in Boston. Deuces wild, ladies and gentlemen, and it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers, parkwaysleep.com. All right, here are the 2 players. Taylor Hall, who won an MVP in 2018 for the New Jersey Devils. He ain't playing for the Devils now. He's on Carolina's 4th line. That's how good the Hurricanes are. And Joel Nystrom. What are we talking about? A 3-1 win in Boston led by Taylor Hall and Joel Nystrom? Are you out of your mind? Yeah, a little bit. Nystrom was great. played just over 20 minutes, second most among Carolina defensemen behind Keandre Miller. He had 2 assists, his first ever 2-point game in the NHL, and he factored in on 2 of the biggest goals of the night. The first one scored by Jordan Stahl.
Nystrom with traffic. It's deflected, the shoot, score! Carolina gets the shot through, and the captain with the net front again. Jordan Stahl's 5th of the year has Carolina up 1-0.
Getting a quick shot through allowed the big man to do his thing, and then getting the puck up to Taylor Hall for the goal that put this one away.
Hall in on Swayman. Hall waits, and he scores! Taylor Hall with the beauty, and Carolina with insurance late against his old team. Taylor Hall makes it 3-0.
No lie, that Taylor Hall scoring play was silly. He should get the primary assist for passing the puck to himself, because that's really what happened. What an elite move by Hall, who is a legitimately great part of one of the deepest teams in the entire league. Carolina's 4th line is better than most teams' 3rd lines. That's how good this team can be, especially if the top line continues to play well. Pyotr Kochetkov also, by the way, 29 saves, a solid effort in net, and that's all they need from number 52. Look, there's that number 2 again. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health, sound off for another great young defenseman in Joel Nystrom.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, I have a question for you.
Go on.
So you just heard from Adam Gold, especially, at the end there, a little hyping up Nystrom. Very good player, had a very good game yesterday. Young player. We've also heard Jalen Chatfield was skating at practice today.
That's right.
And I believe Rod Brindamore told the media that it's kind of going to be up to Chatfield if he plays tomorrow, which you give a veteran that opportunity, right? How do you feel for real? You know your body better than us. Does Nystrom continue to draw in with Chatfield coming back off of that game if Chatfield plays tomorrow? I mean, obviously, I think it would come down to him or Mike Riley. Has Nystrom been that impressive, or has he been pat on the head impressive, where you say, hey, you did a good job, kid, pat him on the head and send him off to being a healthy scratch?
I think he's been that good. I think you keep him in. Let's be honest, he played the 2nd most minutes last night of any of the Carolina Hurricanes defensemen.
And that is the answer I was looking for. Thank you. Every once in a while I set you up for one of those, and you're going the other way. The reason why I say that, and the reason why I was looking for that answer is, that's a lesson right there. The lesson for everybody is, remember at the beginning of the year, we were, and it's a lesson for hockey fans in general, myself included. At the beginning of the year, we were talking about, they have some rookies we like. There's just no room for them. Where are they going to play? Right? Who in the roster? Everybody's set. Nystrom was one of those not even mentioned, right? Because the defensemen or the young guys, I mean, it was Legault, it was there was a few others. It's not ideal how he was given his opportunity. But if you play well enough in whatever opportunity you're given, you will be given more opportunity. At least that's the way I would anticipate it being, right? You never know when you're filling in for an injury when the guy's going to come back. But if you have a game like Nystrom had last night and the guy happens to come back, it's going to be tough to take you out of the lineup, even if that was the plan. Walt Ruff tweeted this out, team reporter, friend of the show, Canes team reporter. Nystrom was picked 219th overall in the 2021 draft. He had played just 7 pro games in North America before injuries thrust him into the Canes lineup. And then he goes on to say how amazing it is to see and how exceptional he was last night. You're not anticipating playing 7 pro games in North America before getting called up to the NHL, but you stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You can earn more opportunities. He was playing big minutes for a cup contender. And who knows what the future looks like now and how different his future might be because of it. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And it happens in sports all the time, right? I think baseball is the easiest way to think about it, right? You don't get sent to the minors after a 4-for-4 day. You know what I mean? You get one more day. It might just be one more day. They might be waiting till you go, 0 for 4 the first time to send you back down, but they're not going to send you back down after an 0 for 4 or a 4 for 4 day. So all you can do is focus on trying to go 4 for 4 every day. I don't know if Niestrom's going to be in the lineup moving forward. Who knows what happens when other guys get healthy. But I promise you they don't want to send you down after you go 4 for 4. And yesterday was kind of a 4 for 4 day for him. Also, I just learned if I say 4 for 4 too many times in a row, it just becomes like So I'm gonna
There's that.
So I'm gonna stop saying that tongue twister. Still, it's a really cool deal to see a young guy seize an opportunity.
One of the reasons why I also say you keep Nystrom in the lineup is the fact that, Rob Brindamore likes having 3 right-handed defensemen and 3 left-handed defensemen. Keeping Nystrom in the lineup if Chatfield does come back in allows you to have 3 and 3.
I would say most coaches like to.
Oh, for sure.
If given their druthers, would like to divide it up. Which is true, and it's just unless there's an obvious talent gap, it's true, and that's again, it's one game. That's what I keep focusing on is like you can shake up lines, you can shake up pairings, you can shake up who's healthy and active. It's one game. You can always go back to it. You can switch it up 3 more times on this road trip. Like you can keep experimenting and figuring out what works. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need numbers game contestants. Excuse me. So get ready for some serious holiday magic. Festival of Lights is coming to DBAP, an immersive light experience the whole family will love. Meet Santa and Woolly Claus. Hop onto the Holiday Express. You can even cozy up in a festive igloo with s'mores and holiday drinks. Call 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets and visit 999thefan. Oh, and on top of that, right, so I'm going to say this in a way that makes more sense because I realized I was just kind of on autopilot there. If you want to play the numbers game and win, if you win the numbers game, you will get a family 4-pack of tickets to the Festival of Lights at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. If you try to call in and don't get through, if you just want to call in and try to win, you can also, or you don't want to call in and try to win, you can also visit 999thefan.com to enter for a chance to win a grand prize of a private igloo. So there's 2 different ways to win. Call in now to play the numbers game and win, 919-860-5326, or visit 999thefan.com or the 999 The Fan app to enter for your chance to win the grand prize of a private igloo. That's how it goes. 999thefan.com or call in now. 919-860-5326. Numbers game next.
Move your sports day forward.
The harvest of the transfer portal and recruiting has proven dividends for all of the Triangle College basketball teams. And I'm also including NC Central in that conversation. I see you, Gage Lattimore. Is it sustainable for all of them? Right now, it's easy to recover from the stumbles, but you want to make sure you don't fall flat on your face.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's Paul Ihander with 99.9 The Fan here at the Salvation Army of Wake County. I'm here talking with Amma. She's the Social Services Director at the Salvation Army of Wake County. And you see people from all walks of life walk through these doors. You never turn anybody away.
We always open our doors for anybody, any family that is in need of shelter. And as Salvation Army, when we talk about needs, we are not only talking about the needs of shelter families, we also do pantries to the community. We also have advanced health clinic on our site for the clients and for our community. We also have coat drive for our clients and for the community. Anybody in need of hot meal can come to Salvation Army and receive food. We also do that. So we do it all.
You can help out Amma do her job. You can help the Salvation Army of Wake County do their job. Text GIVE, G-I-V-E, 919-860-5326.
Or go to teamuptogive.com to donate.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $12 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. People say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal. Then you see the price and lose it, because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So, looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The contestants for today, Kevin in Creedmoor, Micah in Morrisville. They will be battling it out with jersey number knowledge to find out who wins a 4-pack of tickets to the Festive Bowl of Lights at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. As always, we'll bring them both onto the show one at a time, ask them the same question. Dennis will pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. We'll start with Kevin in Creedmoor. Kevin, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, these tickets are for the Festive Bowl of Lights. You can meet Santa, Woolly Claws, all those things. So, what's the best Christmas movie of all time?
Hard.
Was that an answer, or were you just making thinking sounds?
No, Die Hard is the best Christmas movie of all time.
Die Hard. All right, I just couldn't understand you. It sounded like you were like, okay. All right, Die Hard. Got you. Dennis, you good?
Yep.
All right, locked in. We move to Micah in Morrisville. Micah, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, the same question to you. What is the greatest, the best Christmas movie of all time?
Elf.
Elf.
Easy.
All right, both of you responded very quickly. Dennis, Die Hard or Elf?
The correct answer we were looking for was Home Alone is the correct answer we were looking for, but I never think of Die Hard as a Christmas movie. I'm sorry, I just can't. Give me Elf.
I do. People are very passionate about that. It either is or it isn't.
I feel like it's a bit now from people.
I agree. It's like hot dog is a sandwich. People get real yelling about it. So Micah won? Is that what
I'll go with Micah.
All right. Don't worry, Kevin. You will have your chance. Just have to stay on hold. Wait a minute or two. Micah, are you ready to pick a category?
Yeah.
All right. The categories are NFL, Andrew's coming. All players with Andrew somewhere in their name. NFL, played at state universities that are not states. NBA, all Europeans, or NHL, Hurricanes throughout history?
NHL.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. I will say the team in this category, even though you know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Any questions before we get started?
No, I'm good.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Seth Jarvis, Carolina Hurricanes.
24.
Correct. Bradley Nadeau, Carolina Hurricanes.
29.
Correct. Justin Peters, Carolina Hurricanes.
31.
Incorrect. Joey Keane, Carolina Hurricanes.
5.
Bruno St. Jacques, Carolina Hurricanes.
50.
Incorrect. Justin Peters, Carolina Hurricanes.
35.
Correct. Joey Keane, Carolina Hurricanes.
88.
Incorrect. Bruno St. Jacques, Carolina Hurricanes.
51.
Incorrect. Joey Keane, Carolina Hurricanes.
42.
Incorrect. Bruno St. Jacques, Carolina Hurricanes. What were you going to say for Bruno?
I have no idea. 28.
Oh, you're getting closer. 25 is what we were looking for Bruno. Joey Keane, you said 88, so you were right on the double numbers. And you said 42, so you were right in the 40s. You needed to pair them together and go 44. That's what we were looking for Keane. And for those of you playing at home, Justin Peters, we would have accepted 35 or 60. He wore them both with the Canes. But that's 3. Solid showing, Micah. 3 is the number to beat. Stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up. And that means it's time for Kevin in Creedmoor. Kevin, are you there?
I am.
All right. You are the categories you get to choose from that are still remaining are NFL Andrews coming, all players with Andrew somewhere in their name. NFL players that played at state universities that aren't states, or NBA All-Europeans.
NFL players who played at a state university that's not a state.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need at least 4 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Devontae Adams, Los Angeles Rams.
13.
Incorrect. Marshall Faulk, St. Louis Rams.
28.
Correct. Willie Snead, New Orleans Saints.
80.
Incorrect. Devontae Adams, Los Angeles Rams.
17.
Correct. Eric Davis, Carolina Panthers.
21.
Incorrect. Willie Snead, New Orleans Saints.
81.
Incorrect. Eric Davis, Carolina Panthers.
24.
Incorrect. Willie Snead. You got 2. There were some tough ones in there. You got Devontae Adams with 17. You got Marshall Faulk with 28. Snead, we were looking for 83. And Davis, 25.
Close.
Unfortunately, not enough for the win. Hopefully you had some fun, though.
It was fun. Thank you.
And that means Micah is our winner. Micah, congratulations.
Thank you. Those are some hard numbers for both of us.
You never know what you're going to get. You can't show up thinking you're going to get an easy one, Micah. No, I mean, you have perfect scores in your past. You should be able to handle a few deep cuts.
I've never even heard of those guys that you said, I'm going to be honest. Maybe I wasn't alive.
You were, all right, well, you won anyway, and I will say this. For never hearing, you were actually pretty close on some of them. So there's that. Good guesser. Micah, we appreciate you as always. Congratulations on the win. Stay on the line so Dennis can make sure you get your prize.
Read off the state schools for people that kind of get the bit, I guess you could say.
I can do that. Devontae Adams went to Fresno State. So the bit is there is no state named Fresno, but it's Fresno State. Marshall Faulk went to San Diego State. Willie Snead went to Ball State. And Eric Davis went to Jacksonville State. So none of those, obviously, states, but they have state there. Basically, the whole Pac-12 would have fit in there. Pac-12 is now, it's like, it's Fresno State, it's San Diego State, it's Boise State, it's, there's a whole bunch of states. I guess they have some ones that are named after states as well. Washington State, Oregon State, Colorado State. Is there Utah State? I don't know. There's a bunch of states in the Pac-12. Some of them are states, some of them aren't. Either way, solid showing from both contestants, and Micah goes home with the Festival of Lights tickets, a family 4-pack. If you didn't win and you tried to and you want to continue trying to win, you can head to 999thefan.com to enter for a chance to win the grand prize, a private igloo at the Festival of Lights. 999thefan.com. You can also enter on the 999 The Fan app. Just download it. Check it out. Check it out there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. You know what time of year it is. It's time to start thinking about gifts. Time to start thinking about making that someone special in your life feel very special this holiday season, and nothing will make them feel more special than a luxury timepiece from Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. Here's the thing. When you wear a luxury timepiece that was gifted to you by somebody meaningful, it's a constant reminder of them and how much they care about you, right? It's on your wrist. Every time you check the time, every time you glance down, you're reminded by it. And what reminder would you want someone in your life to have? I value you so much, I got you a absolutely awesome pre-owned or vintage Rolex, right? You mean so much to me, I got you a limited edition bananas rose gold Speedmaster from Omega. Or, hey, I saw this Hamilton and thought of you. It's in your favorite movie, right? There's so many different options, so many different things you can say to somebody in your life with a luxury timepiece from the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. Or how about this? Go pick up yourself a watch and pay attention to what your significant other is eyeing for themselves and get them that for Christmas. right? Maybe they're into jewelry, maybe they're into watches, whatever it is. Go there like, I want to check out the watches. And then while they're walking around, pay attention to what they linger at and get your info. So then when it comes to holiday season for buying gifts, you have all the info. You have all the insider information. Let's win this holiday season, shall we? Again, Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. Let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. Yesterday, news broke during the show that could shift the balance of power in the Atlantic Coast Conference. How much does James Franklin really impact things? Stick around.
Do you have a smartphone? Of course you do. Do you have a pocket or pouch or human hand to hold your smartphone? Then you have no excuse. Download the 99.9 The Fan brand new app today and take us with you wherever you go. Your favorite hosts, podcasts, and live sports action all in one place. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Finally, there's an app for 99.9 The Fan. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
99.9 The Fan is partnering with the Salvation Army of Wake County for Team Up to Give.
We cheer together, we celebrate together.
And when our neighbors are struggling, we step up together.
Across Wake County, more of our neighbors continue to face nights without a safe place to sleep.
Your gift could be the one that turns the tide for a family in crisis.
So team up with us. Together we can make sure no one is forgotten. Team up, give hope, change lives.
Text GIVE to 919-860-5326 or go to teamuptogive.com to donate.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate down to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. James Franklin, head coach of Virginia Tech. Penn State fired him, Virginia Tech hired him. And part of that deal, by the way, just for the buyout watchers, everybody wants to know how much money is being paid by who. Part of the agreement came with a negotiated buyout from Penn State to give James Franklin $9 million. So what was reported as a $49 to $52 million buyout, Penn State will pay $9 million. Big difference. Big difference. Still a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but big difference. This is one of those, like for obviously Virginia Tech, I think they're very pleased with it, right? I think they went through, they wanted to get this done quickly. They did. Now they can start planning. James Franklin can, start planning recruiting, putting a staff together, everything else. From an ACC perspective, right? Because we look at everything through the triangle glasses, right? The teams that we cover. It's good and bad. It's good because I think it raises the profile of the ACC. It's good because it is another team that should be seen as a trophy fish win, right? It's not just the name brand recognition of beating a Clemson or a Miami. Now Virginia Tech vaults up in those rankings, not saying that high, but they vault up in that ranking to where if you beat a James Franklin team, you will get kudos for it. And so much about conference affiliation, so much about CFP debates is how many good wins do you have? How many, are your losses against teams that the committee can justify or not? If you lose to Virginia Tech this year, like NC State did, it was seen as a horrible loss, right? It was earth-shattering. The reactions were panic and alarm. If James Franklin gets them to a consistent 8-win team, occasional 10 or 11-win team, losing to Virginia Tech is suddenly like, well, that's losing to a good program, right? It's like all those AC or SEC losses that frustrate the heck out of us, right? When there's a 2-loss ACC team and they're trying to put a 4-loss SEC team above them in the rankings, but they're going, yeah, but that's a good program. They lost to Texas A&M. It's not like they lost to Virginia, right? They're doing all that stuff. So it's another good program in the conference if it works out, and I think there's a good chance it will. The flip side of it is it's another good program in the way between you and, say, winning a conference. It's another team that might beat you, right? It might be a more acceptable loss, but it could be a loss nonetheless, right? You have to level up along with your competition. It is good and bad. I think if you are a true competitor, you see it as just good. Right? I think Duke basketball playing tonight, Madison Square Garden against Kansas. The most talented player by most accounts, Darren Peterson, isn't playing for Kansas. He's hurt. I think if you truth serumed the competitors at Duke, they want to beat Kansas at their full strength, right? I don't think you want to beat Virginia Tech because the coach isn't resonating and isn't, recruiting as well as they should, and they're having down years. So it's like, hey, we beat Virginia Tech 6 of the last 7 years. But it's like, well, yeah, that's a down program. You want to win 6 out of 7 years against James Franklin, against 5 stars, against a top recruiting class, against a well-funded program. But you got to be real about it and say, are we ready to go do that? I've talked about this phenomena that I think is going to happen. I don't know what the date is because I'm not in athletic director meetings. I'm not in the grant of rights meetings. I'm not a lawyer for somebody that Clemson and Florida State paid a lot of money. I think there's a date in the near future where timing is everything. You really want to be good. And near future is relative, right? It might be 6 years from now. Might be a little longer, could be a little less. I think there's going to be a time where the big dogs in college football try to, I don't know if they'll be successful, but I think they're going to try to set up a new structure. A super league or a super conference or something that is either indirectly connected to the NCAA or not connected to the NCAA at all. Might be a minor league situation. I don't know, right? The ideas that are being floated out there are crazy. And the most important thing you can do as a college program is make sure that whenever they are deciding who is included in that or not included in that, be as good as you possibly can. You want to be coming off a 12-win season and an appearance in the Elite Eight. You want to be cranking out first-round quarterbacks. You want to have a roster that is loaded and expected to compete the next year. You want to make it so whatever that next thing is, you're like the obvious, right? You are, all right, well, we're definitely taking them with us to the cool kids table, to the Super League, to whatever. You don't want to be, timing is everything, just having a down stretch. Right? You don't want to have we were good for 20 years, we were down for 3 years, and that's when they decided who was going to get to go to the super conference or not. You don't want to be caught there. Which, by the way, kind of happened to the ACC. Mm-hmm. The ACC from 99 to 2013 was one of the big dogs, right? I mean, they're the 4th best team in the ACC, was 1 win out of the national championship in a lot of ways. There were a lot of really good teams. Miami, ballin', Clemson, ballin', Virginia Tech was winning a bunch of games every year.
Florida State was good.
Florida State was balling out. There were years where NC State was very good. There were years where Boston College was very good. There were a bunch of really impressive teams. They hit a downslope, and then all of a sudden the Big Ten and SEC started swallowing everybody up and grabbing teams, and I'm going if this happened 10 years ago, the ACC would be everybody's first draft pick. It would be the ACC and, ironically, the Pac-12. And maybe not first draft pick, but they'd be way more powerful. But timing is everything, right? And nobody could have anticipated that, right? Just a bad luck that you were having a little down stretch when so much reorganization was happening. But I do think we can kind of predict the next one. I don't know what the exact date is, but I think there is a date where these contract loopholes, the exit fees become palatable, whatever it is, where you need to be prepared to make sure you're good right there. And if it means spending a little bit of more money now to make sure you're included in where all the big money is later, I think you do it. I think that's why the Big Ten is entertaining all this private capital money right now. Because they're saying, no, you don't understand. Once we get into the super conference 5 years from now, paying this back is going to seem like child's play. But we need to get this influx now to make sure we're all good then. Same with spending on, say, James Franklin. Remember, Virginia Tech, during this coaching search, went and had their board of whatever, governors, trustees, I don't know what they call it, approve. It's like $47 million per year over the next 4 in additional athletic funds.
Yeah, it's $229 total million over the next 4 years.
That's absurd. So even more than what I said. Yeah. That's absurd. But also it's the next 4 years, right? I think they know we have to be good like 4 or 5 years from now. And then the money will be flowing in from whatever this next venture is. Thus, you get James Franklin. You give him a fully funded rev share. You give him a whatever NIL money. You give him money for his staff. And you go, you better be good in 2030 or whatever we need to be good by. And then you're included, and then you're getting like NFL money, right? If they pick 40 college teams to have a super league, every game is huge. Every game is it's like an NFL league, and you can go get NFL broadcast money, and trust me, that's bananas. You can negotiate as a block rather than individually as conferences, and it keeps shooting up. I think Virginia Tech knows that. I think, and this is, again, I'm reading tea leaves here, I think that had to do with Bill Belichick going to UNC. They upped a lot of their resources, but they're expecting him to transform this program into a pro program. So whether he's around or the next guy's around, they're having the success they need to have when that's happening. And I think every program should be thinking about it. Every program should be doing what they can. It's an arms race in a lot of ways to a finish line that I don't think they know the exact date, but I think they know it's coming.
I think a lot of us, speaking of James Franklin specifically, I think a lot of us were anticipating him being the first guy to get hired. I just wasn't anticipating Virginia Tech would be the first school, like the first domino to fall. I just wasn't anticipating that because I'm thinking LSU, which has a massive pedigree, which I know they can have almost their pick of the litter when it comes to coaches. If that, Penn State, there's just so many of these major programs that already have all that foundation and money already set that could sit there and just go like, all right, we pick, you. I think Virginia Tech is the first one. I don't know. I just find that very interesting.
I think it's a ego thing maybe on both sides. I think a lot of teams maybe wanted Lane Kiffin. And if not Lane, then we want James Franklin. And James Franklin was like, I'm nobody's second choice, right? Virginia Tech probably understood there ain't no way we're getting Lane Kiffin. And I'm just using Lane as an example, right? Whoever their number one was, and went after James Franklin and made him a priority, and that's what he wanted. Ego is a wild and crazy thing. Makes you do crazy things. But also, like, obviously you being from Virginia, I've worked in Blacksburg and covered the Hokies. They can be good. Like they've been to a national championship with the Michael Vick year. They've been to a bunch of BCS bowls. They've cranked out NFL stars. It's a unique college environment where they are located, how much support they have, and a bunch of other things. But trust me, they're not like James Franklin's going to go try and who knows. Like they can do it. There's talent there. And he can recruit the heck out of the 757, the Hampton Roads area, which is a notorious hotbed for athletes. And if that happens, just buckle up. That's how you get some of those really good Tech teams, Virginia Tech teams.
And he can probably go recruit the D.C. area, that Northern Virginia area, which has a ton of talent coming out of it.
He's recruited the state of Virginia exceptionally well, getting them to go to State College, Pennsylvania. Similar to Blacksburg as far as like kind of in the middle of nowhere, but not in state. So I think he's going to do fine there. And now, right, NC State, Duke, UNC, Wake, you got to go be better than him, right? You got to go win those games, and that's the way competition works.
And don't be shocked to see James Franklin popping around in the state of North Carolina trying to get guys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Personable individual. He will talk to you when you're in line for food. You know what I mean? He'll wait in line, and he'll make you his friend in the way. He's a personable guy. Recruits well. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming up here on Overdrive, we have a conversation to start from earlier today about the Carolina Hurricanes. A little depth win for them last night against the Boston Bruins on the road. Exciting time for the Canes. By the way, as far as like the breaking-ish news goes, Mike Maniscalco, voice of the Canes, did put video up today on social media of Jalen Chatfield skating with the Canes in practice today. He's been out with an injury for the last few games. No official for tomorrow, but if you're skating today, it's probably pretty good that you have a chance to play tomorrow. So Overdrive is coming up next. We'll be back tomorrow for a Wednesday edition of the show. Until then, have a great evening, everybody.
Having Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Brady and Belichick missed the playoffs once in Tom Brady's first season as a full-time starter. This is too deep into this run to miss the playoffs. They got destroyed in the Super Bowl. They don't look dominant on offense. Denver is significantly better. If they don't make the playoffs this year, I do not want to hear about this Chiefs dynasty in the same sentence as the Patriots dynasty.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Hey, folks, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I have been with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been following their plan since the end of July. I'm down 42 pounds since the end of July. We're middle part of November. 42 pounds in just under 4 months. 42 pounds down thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I say that number a lot because I want to emphasize what the program can do for you. Now, obviously, results are going to vary, but the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center is geared towards resetting and restarting your metabolism. That way, your body can do the natural thing, which is burn off